Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto banished and becomes a sage part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Eyes. They say that the eyes are windows to the soul. In this case they show a dead one without feeling. Naruto walks down the street, shuffles. He can't bring himself to care enough to pick up his feet all the way off the ground. His eyes are his and not his at the same time. They have been described as piercing, deep, kind, and open book. This is not correct. Naruto's eyes are pointed at the ground and have been ever since he came back from his fight at the valley at the end, where Sasuke, his best friend, put a Chidori through his chest. And after the whole thing, Sakura. Naruto doesn't even want to think about Sakura. His eyes now can be described as dull, more of a green shade than blue, and dead. He has the look of a dead man. Alive but dead. Naruto walks through the market on his way home, not something that he would normally do. But he can't bring himself to care. As he passes through, jeers and cat calls are made. Then things go south. People start throwing things. At first it is things like eggs and cabbage, but it quickly upgrades to sharp objects like knives and kunai. They pierce, slice, and cut his skin, but he doesn't even flinch, doesn't make a sound. He just keeps on plodding on towards his apartment. Things don't stop there. One civilian takes his lack of response as a sign of weakness and runs up to him before stabbing him with the chief's knife. Naruto still doesn't respond. Then the crowd descends. Punching, kicking, stabbing, slicing, peeling. Naruto keeps on walking until he physically is unable to. He collapses on the ground and the mob goes in for the kill. Futon de Tapa. Wind release, great breakthrough. The mob is thrown back, revealing a very bloody Naruto. His clothes are virtually non-existent, and his is laying in a pool of his own blood. A silver-haired man in a mask quickly wraps Naruto up and Shunshin's body flicker technique to the hospital. Time skip 12 hours, Konoha Hospital. Naruto wakes to the beeping of machinery. It is one he knows very well. Over his lifetime, he has been in the hospital more times than he can count. He moves his head to the side and sees Jiraiya sitting on the windowsill. Welcome back to the world of the living, Gaki brat. Naruto doesn't answer. This worries him. Normally Naruto is very energetic and would be opposed to being called a brat. But instead Naruto just turns his head and stares at the wall. Jiraiya sighs. He knows exactly why Naruto is acting like he is. Hey Naruto. How would you like to come with me on a 3-year training trip? Naruto lifts his head and then stares at Jiraiya. Only one thought is going through his head. I want to get away from here. From her. Naruto nods his head, eliciting a smile from Jiraiya. Good. Tsunadeheim has already approved it. When you are released, go home and pack, then go to Tsunade's office. Oh, and don't take the market again. Take the rooftops. We don't want another incident like the one that put you in here in the first place. Naruto doesn't give any sign that he heard Jiraiya. But Jiraiya isn't going to baby him. With a wave, Jiraiya hops out the window and goes to Tsunade's office. Hokage's office. When Jiraiya arrives, he lands on the window outside the office. He looks in and sees Tsunade talking, more like yelling, at a quivering Sakura. As of this moment, Haruno Sakura, your shinobi license is permanently revoked for conduct unbecoming a shinobi and conspiracy to harm your own teammate. You will no longer be a ninja, train to be a ninja, or attempt to be a ninja. You are a civilian and will remain so for as long as you are in this village. Now get out of my office. Sakura bursts into tears and runs out of the office, not bothering to shut the door. Shuzine walks into the office and closes the door behind her. Was that really necessary? Banishing her forever? Tsunade snorts. Jiraiya, get your ass in here. And use the door next time. She roars at him. It is never a good day for a Kage when she has to remove a shinobi license. Jiraiya clambers through the window. It's not my fault that the window has a huge ledge. It's like the founders wanted people to use it. Jiraiya ducks under a chair that is tosses at him and embeds itself in the wall. Anyways, yes, I do think that she doesn't deserve to be called a shinobi anymore. What she pulled is worse than anything I can think of. And to do it to Naruto, who has trust issues and a fragile mind to begin with, just made the decision easier. You realize that people aren't going to be happy about this? The council will try to have her reinstated, Jiraiya states. Tsunade chuckles evilly. The council already isn't happy with me, especially I put to death all those who assaulted Naruto. Let them try to bring her back. It won't make a difference. The council is my advisor, not my right hand. They aren't supposed to have any power, and I'm returning it to the original state. I have been looking for a way to disband the civilian side of the council ever since I took this job. This is a hidden village, not a damn democracy. Changes are coming to the council. Even Danzo isn't going to be much of a factor after I get through with him. Jiraiya nods. This is why his former sensei wanted her even before his death. Her knew that she would stand up to the council in ways that he never could. Are you sure that you aren't showing favoritism to Naruto? He is like a brother to you, Shizen questions. Oh, I'm quite sure. You see. The door opens and an Umbu steps through. With a low bow he speaks. Excuse the intrusion, Hokage-sama, but the council is requesting an emergency meeting. Tsunade smirks. Those old bastards move quickly when they want to. Very well. Tell Umbu Squad 6, 7, and 8 to report to the council room. Tell them they are not to be detected. The Umbu straightens. As you wish. The door closes. Well, it is time I put this village straight. When do you leave, Jiraiya? A few hours after Naruto gets out of the hospital. I checked and he is scheduled to be released anytime. I told him to meet me here. Tsunade nods and stretches. Well, I'm off. Don't let him die, Jiraiya. With that, Tsunade leaves with Shizen in tow. Council chambers. Tsunade bursts through the door, silencing the entire room. Before her sits the Shinobi Council, the Civilian Council, and the village elders, split even 12-12-4 and the 3 with her as the deciding vote. Why has this meeting been called? Tsunade demands, not even talking a seat. You have gone too far this time, Tsunade. A faceless woman shouts. We demand that you reinstate Haruno Sakura and put the demon to death, shouts a porky man. Yes, you must put the Kyuubi incarnate to death for what he did to Uchiha-sama. A very fat man shouts before being severely winded from the outburst. We demand you give reparations for those families you killed. This one comes from a pink-haired woman who looks just like Sakura but older. Tsunade raises an eyebrow. Really? Umbu, kill these men. The heads of the men who shouted second and third are now rolling on the ground. What the hell are you doing? Another faceless and nameless merchant shouts. Tsunade slams her hands on the table, breaking it and silencing the room. Those men broke the Sandame's law, and last time I checked, assaulting and nearly killing a shinobi is punishable by death. As of this moment, the civilian council is disbanded. The room is filled with shouts and threats. The shinobi clan heads just sit there and wait for Tsunade to lose her patience. Umbu. 24 shinobi appear out of the walls, various weapons drawn. The room instantly goes loud with shouts of outrage. Tsunade punches a wall, caving it in, forcing silence in the room. As you may have guessed, I am in command of this village, not you sniveling politicians who hide behind laws to further yourselves to the detriment of others. The council is only an advisory one. You do not hold power, you do not engage in activities behind the Hokage, you do not undermine my authority. I am resuming full command of this village and returning this council to original purpose. And there is nothing any of you can do about it. From now on, the advisory board will have no power to make decisions. They will be at my beck and call and will answer only to me. Umbu, escort these civilians to Ibiki and Anko. I heard she likes to hear screaming in the morning. Let's see how much information about stabbing me in the back he can get out of them. The ex-civilian council is rounded up, bound, and carried to the interrogation department where Anko and Ibiki are already waiting. Now that that is out of the way, does anybody have any problems with my authority? She asks sweetly. The clan heads and the village elders all shake their heads. Good. Does anybody have anything they would like to add to the agenda of the advisory board to discuss? I was wondering when you were going to get rid of those conspirators. Some comments. Shikaku lazily speaks up. So what happens now? Are we expected to deal with commerce and civilian matters now? Tsunade shakes her head. As much as I distaste paperwork, most of it will fall on me. You are only an advisory board. I will come to you when I need advice on certain things to proceed, and that is that. Such things will be who makes Chunin and Jonin, but I will ultimately have the say. I will also be relying on a few of you in areas that I have no expertise and experience in, but know your workload will not drastically increase. Oh, and you no longer have as many privileges. Being on this advisory board no longer protects you. You break a law, then you are subject to the consequences. You will retain all clan rights and all that it implies. If there is nothing else, then this meeting is adjourned. Tsunade walks out of the room. Throughout the entire meeting, Danzo said nothing. But under his impassive mask, he is seething. Damn her. She has ruined most of my plans. I must get rid of her before she ruins the rest of them. But she did save me a lot of work when I become Hokage. All I have to do then is just disband the advisory board, which won't be difficult at all seeing as how they have no power anymore. Danzo leaves the advisory board chambers, unaware of the shadow. Hokage office. Tsunade sits in her chair feeling better than she has in a long time. Jiraiya is still there waiting for Naruto. An Umbu opens the door. Hokage-sama, Danzo is on the move. We have Tracker Squad 9 on him now. Jiraiya's eyebrow almost gets lost in his hairline. Excellent. Bring me the Jonin instructors, clan heads, and all Umbu squad captains. Without a word, the Umbu disappears. So you are going for it all now? Jiraiya questions. Tsunade nods. Danzo has been plotting for too long. After today, I will only have to worry about threats from outside of the village for a while. Hopefully when you and Naruto get back, this place will be completely different in how they treat him. That's a lot to ask in 3 years. They have spent the last 13 hating his very existence. It isn't going to happen overnight. And no. But when he gets back, I'm going to reveal his heritage. People should change their minds after that. Oh, and don't leave with Naruto yet. I'm going to be promoting him and telling him who he comes from. This gets Jiraiya worried. Are you sure that's a good idea? He is in a very fragile state as it is. He may not ever trust someone enough to get close to him now. Imagine when you tell him and his mind snaps. He won't be the same. Tsunade shakes her head. He already isn't the same. He will never be the same, as much as I hate to say it. Sakura broke him, and I don't know if there is anything in this world that can fix him. So I might as well tell him now before he come to resent us both for not telling him. Jiraiya fixes her with an intense stare. You had better be right. Because if you aren't, Kushina will kill us again in the next life when we get there, making both of them involuntarily shudder. Just then the doors open and Umbu and Jonin enter the room. Good. Now you may already know that I have disbanded the Civilian Council and made the Shinobi Council just an advisory board. This gets murmurs from the crowd. Apparently not everyone knew. Anyways, I have one obstacle left before all threats are eliminated. Danzo. Another round of murmurs. Over 10 years ago, the Sandaime Hokage ordered Danzo to disband his private army known as Root. That has not happened. He probably is plotting a way to kill me before I ruin more of his plans. So, I have Squad 9 tracking him right now to his lair. Once we have confirmed the location of the Root base, all Umbu squads and squads made up of Jonin will assault the base. Kakashi Hitake will lead Kurenai, Choza Akimichi, and Hayama Shirakumo. Asuma Sarutobi will lead Hamaki Mimura, Yakumo Karama, and Might Guy. Shikaku Nero will lead Shibi Aburame, Inoichi Yamanaka, and Takuno Kenden. Shikaku, you will be in charge of the operation. A troublesome reaches her ears from the back. Kill all who oppose and if possible, capture Danzo alive. If not, then it is of no consequence. Be on alert from now until we have confirmation. Once we do, you will move 2 hours after that. Be aware that Danzo may try to escape. All shinobi not specified to be in a squad will be posted in the forest to prevent that. Clan heads may use any shinobi you feel are up to the task. That was directed mostly at Hayashi. His clan with the Byakugan will be invaluable in finding Danzo. If there are no questions, then you are all dismissed. Oh, and do not talk about this without a privacy seal. We cannot afford to have any leaks and let Danzo know. The assembled shinobi file out of the room in silence, leaving only Tsunade and Jiraiya. Then a boy of 13 years walks into the room, backpack over his shoulders. Instead of his Kill Me orange suit, he has on plain black Umbu paints and a t-shirt. Ah, Naruto. I'm glad you made it. Come have a seat over here. Tsunade asks Shizen to close the door while she crosses the room and sits on a couch. Naruto joins her, not bothering to take off his backpack. It is then she gets a good look at him. His most noticeable feature before the change was his eyes. They really stood out from the mess of blonde hair. They are even more noticeable now, but not for any good reasons. Instead of shade of piercing light blue, they are now dull and dark with a tint of a sickly green color. His eyes hold no emotion, no spark that was there before, no life. How are you doing? She asks softly. No answer. Just stares at the ground. Look, Naruto. I know the last thing you want to talk about is Sakura. He visibly recoils at the name, which is the only indicator that he is indeed listening. About her, but in time you will find that it hurts less over time. Just know that when you are ready to talk about it, Jiraiya and I will always be available to you. Okay? No response of any kind, but she knows he is listening. I'm promoting you to Chunin Naruto. This gets a reaction. He slowly turns his head and looks at her with his soulless eyes. Now Tsunade hates Sakura more than ever. She took the only bit of innocence, and whatever was left of his soul when she betrayed him. Naruto doesn't say anything, but he just stares at her as if wondering why. I'm promoting you because 1. The council wouldn't let me, but they are gone so I can do what I want. 2. Because you have fought powerful enemies more than anybody at the Chunin exams and not only survived but beat them. I believe that you of all people deserve this more than anybody. 3. You have taken more punishment, more pain, and more heartbreak than anyone I know and still you fight. I believe that you will eventually find something to live for again, and when you do, you will be unstoppable. You have great potential and I want to see you fulfill that potential. Now I have something else to tell you now that you are of proper rank. She gets up and walks to a random picture that is hanging up on the wall. She takes the painting off the wall and opens her safe. Lame, I know. She pulls out a single scroll. She closes the safe and replaces the painting and sits back down on the couch. She is about to open the storage scroll when Jiraiya stops her. Shouldn't you put up a privacy barrier first? I already did. The first thing I did when I got here was to make it so when the door closes it puts up the privacy barrier automatically. Satisfied with the answer, he sits back and hopes this doesn't backfire. She bites her thumb and breaks the blood seal on the scroll. She then extracts 4 scrolls which she hands to Naruto. These are scrolls from your parents. I don't know what is in them, so you will have to open them and find out yourself. You should open them here, but I'm not going to force you. Naruto numbly takes the scrolls. He bites his thumb and breaks the blood seal on all 4 at once. He takes one and opens it. This one is a storage scroll. He summons whatever is inside and out pop hundreds if not thousands of scrolls. Tsunade and Jiraiya's eyes go wide. Holy shit! Jiraiya picks up a scroll and reads it. Uzumaki Kenjutsu, Uzumaki style Kenjutsu. Jiraiya picks up more scrolls. They range from history to clan jutsu to forbidden techniques. This looks like the entire library your father and mother had. There must be thousands of scrolls. Naruto, who would have been jumping off the walls at the prospect of learning so many jutsu, but this Naruto doesn't react. Instead, he ignores the mountain of scrolls and opens the next scroll. This one is a letter. Dear Naruto, I cannot express how sorry I am that I cannot be there right now. My name is Kushina Uzumaki, your mother. I come from the land of whirlpools and have lived in Konoha with your father ever since it was destroyed. First, I want to say that I hope you don't hate me. I didn't fight for you enough to stop the QB being sealed inside of you. I didn't want to, but in the end your father convinced me. I know we condemn you to a life of hardship and hatred, but I know that my son can overcome anything. I have left you my sword and my armor. They are things that get passed down from generation to generation, and now it is your turn. I have also included the entire Uzumaki library. This has everything from our techniques to our history to the secrets of the whirlpools. My job was to protect the library and ensure its survival, so I passed the task on to you, the last Uzumaki. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive your father, and we have wronged you more than anybody else. Worse is that we left you alone to deal with it. I know the villagers will not see you as the hero you are, but I can hope. Please don't hate us, dear, but I will understand if you do. I hope you are healthy and well. Give my regards to Sarutobi if he is still alive or whoever the current Hokage is. I hope you live a long and very happy life. Your loving mother, Kushina Uzumaki. Naruto reads the letter again and again. During this time, Tsunade and Jiraiya have picked up and resealed all the scrolls. Eventually he just rolls it back up and opens the next one. It too is a storage scroll. He unseals the items. Out poofs a sheathed sword and 2 large chests. He opens the first chest. The inside is much larger than the chest has room for. It looks more like a walk-in closet than a chest. Strapped to the walls are hundreds of 3-pronged kunai. Naruto shuts the lid and goes to the second chest. Inside is a set of armor. Each piece is ruby red and very polished. There is a note right on top. This armor is the pride and glory of the Uzumaki clan. It is centuries old and very special. It is semi-sentient and will only allow the current head of the Uzumaki to wear it. All others will be crushed. It will grow or shrink to the body and consists of a breastplate, gauntlets, and greaves. Once on, channel chakra into the breastplate, and the full suit will appear. The armor is made from a dragon's scales and hide, making it very flexible and very strong and hard to penetrate, and has the ability to harden or allow more flexibility depending on the situation and desire of the user. Being semi-sentient, this armor will automatically react to threats. Whether that is to harden the armor or to physically move the user, it will do so if allowed. When not needed, the armor will blend in as normal clothing while maintaining the protection it offers. When in the full armor is engaged, a helmet will also appear and completely cover the head, but will not hinder the user's ability to see. Use it well and represent the Uzumaki with pride. Naruto lets the note float from his hand and picks up the breastplate. It is surprisingly light. He puts on the breastplate, the fully gloved gauntlets, and then the greaves that go up to his mid-calves. The instant the greaves are on, Naruto feels a prick on his chest. After a minute or so, the armor visibly shrinks, conforming perfectly to Naruto's body. The breastplate shrinks and elongates so that it covers his stomach and sides. The gauntlets shrink and the fingers grow to accommodate his long and thin fingers. The greaves actually grow a little bigger, wider, and the metal crawls up his leg to just above his knees. Channeling chakra into the breastplate, he activates the full armor. Tsunade and Jiraiya watch as a flash of red starts from the breastplate. As the wave passes over Naruto's body, molten red seeps from the wave, and after a second, it solidifies. In less than 10 seconds, Naruto is standing head to foot in shiny red armor. It looks like Naruto is wearing a second skin, albeit a very shiny and very strong second skin. Naruto is completely amazed, or as much as his current apathetic self will allow. He twists, turns, jumps, performs hand signs. He feels a very small amount of resistance when moving, but not as much as he was expecting. While he can feel the extra weight of the helmet, he can see clear as day, as if he wasn't wearing a helmet. Well, this is cool, he speaks for the first time in a week. But it isn't his normal cheery voice, but a monotone, almost uncaring voice. But it is a step in the right direction. He notices a slight muffle in his voice, like the sound and air are being filtered. Welcome, Master Naruto. Naruto jumps at the unexpected voice. Who are you? Naruto asks aloud. I am an imprint suit's first user, Kusaki Uzumaki. The original Kusaki made this suit after defeating a terrifying dragon that attacked Whirlpool many millennia ago. This armor was made from the defeated dragon's scales and skin. The Dragon Clan, ashamed that one of their own would do such a thing, offered themselves as the explicit summons of the wearer of this armor. I can offer help in battle, advice on any number of topics, or just a history lesson. As the guardian of this suit, I have sampled your blood to ensure that you are indeed an Uzumaki, and then read your memories to find out if you are the head Uzumaki. If you had failed, then I would have killed you for putting on this armor. Naruto absorbs this information, but doesn't react to it visibly or verbally. Instead, he cuts the flow of chakra to the breastplate, and the armor withdraws back to just the 3 pieces. Almost instantly, the armor adapts to look like normal clothing. The greaves become red steel-lined boots that go completely up to Naruto's knees, making it impossible to cut his Achilles tendons, and breaking his knee is much more difficult. The gauntlets become red fingerless gloves that go halfway to his elbows. And the breastplate becomes a red jacket that covers most of the gauntlets. Overall, he finds it acceptable. Before either Jiraiya or Tsunade can stop him, he takes out a kunai and jabs it into the back of his hand. Or that's what would have happened if the kunai hadn't stopped about a centimeter from his hand by a layer of very dense and nearly impenetrable chakra. Self-inflicted damage is not recommended, Kusaki drawls. Just checking, Naruto says emotionlessly. He picks up the last item, his mother's sword. He unsheathes it, and it almost instantaneously blinded by it. The sword appears to be made almost entirely out of light. He feels a very small percentage, about 5%, being pulled into the sword. Brings new meaning to the word lightsaber, Naruto thinks dryly. While he can't look directly at it, he finds that the intensity of the light is directly tied in with how much chakra is flowing into the blade. Apparently the sword had drawn on the chakra the instant it was drawn and drew too much, or didn't realize just how much more potent Naruto's chakra was. Naruto completely withdrew his chakra from the blade and he could finally look at it. He finds his earlier assumption that it was made out of light completely wrong. The katana-style blade is just over 50 inches long with a 10-inch hilt. The blade is long and very light and looks incredibly sharp. He runs his finger along the edge with no pressure added and is rewarded with a cut. But unknown to him, the sword has a second stage. Naruto notices the blood seeping into the blade. Suddenly an explosion of light erupts from the blade, making everyone cover their eyes and looking away. When the light dies down to tolerable levels, he finds that this blade is indeed made completely out of light. But that isn't the most shocking part of all. Standing next to Naruto is a redhead. She is about Naruto's height with waist-length auburn hair. She is thin, but obviously very powerful. Kei Kushina? Tsunade stutters out. Yes, that is my name. Kushina Uzumaki. Before you ask, I am not really here. I am her churka that has been stored in the sword from my previous uses. I do have her memories from the last time she used me, which was during the Kyuubi attack. Minato was just about to do the sealing when she sheathed me, and I don't know anything after that. How many years has it been? 13, Jiraiya says. Then this must be her son, well, my son, as I am her, or at least a part of her. Well, I'm here to instruct you in the ways of Kenjutsu and in the personal Uzumaki styles, the dragon's talon and the dragon's scales. As you may have guessed, one is offensive and the other is defensive. So you are her, my son. You look a lot like your father, in fact you are almost an exact replica of him. I believe we wanted to call you Naruto, is that what they settled on? Naruto only nods, his soulless eyes on the ground, not able to look her anywhere near her eyes. This gets Kushina to raise an eyebrow. So how do I ask this screw-it? What's wrong with him? She points a finger at Naruto while looking to Tsunade and Jiraiya. Usually when someone sees their long-lost mother, they cry and hug. The exact opposite happens to be what Naruto is doing now. Tsunade and Jiraiya's sweat drop. Just like her to not move around the niceties and just say it with as much tact as a bulldozer. He has gone through a rather big betrayal recently, and this is the result. He doesn't want to talk about it, but I'm sure he will open up eventually about it. Kushina puts her hands on his face, wincing herself at his violent recall. She slowly and gently forces him to look at her. When she does, she instantly wants to murder his betrayer. I knew that the villagers probably wouldn't accept him, but make someone withdraw into themselves as a defense mechanism means that it was a huge betrayal. While she may not real or the original Kushina, she still has the same emotions and personality that includes a very strong protective nature. She decides to drop it as he probably won't talk about it now. She lets him go and takes a step back to give him space. Well, anyways, I will be teaching you Dragon's Talon and Scales. After that you will create your own style. It can be offensive, defensive, a combination of both, or something completely original. I assume that you, Jiraiya, will be training him at the same time? Jiraiya nods his head. Yeah. I'm taking him out for a 3-year training trip. Mostly it is to get away from this village and its bad memories for him. Then I don't have to tell you that you had better not corrupt my son with your perverted ideas. Because Kami can't and won't help you in the afterlife. To make her threat have a little more impact, she cracks her knuckles. Jiraiya is starting to visibly sweat under the collective glares of Kushina and Tsunade. Of course I won't. How could that thought have even crossed your mind? Kushina's glare only intensifies. I know you were and would have tried to. Or do you not remember when I caught you peeping on me several times as well as Tsunade? I will not have my son grow up to be a perv. Jiraiya can't answer as there is a hole in the wall in his outline with Tsunade's fist extended right where the only geyser was just at. Kushina growls as she turns away from the hole in the wall and faces Naruto once again. Anyways, this sword is a divine object and is centuries older than your armor. Its name has been lost to time, so you may want to look it up if get a chance. Being a divine object, this sword is made for defending and defeating demons and other hellish creatures. There are other divine weapons as well as demonic weapons. Try to avoid the demonic weapons as they try to take you over and eat your soul. This sword has 3 stages. The first one is a normal metal blade that can be used to battle human weapons. In the second stage, the blade becomes pure light and can be morphed into a number of different styles of blades from a katana to a zanbatsu, whatever the user desires. While in the second stage, it can cut through most normal metals, but demon steel and a few others found here will repel it. The third stage is something you are going to have to unlock it yourself. I cannot tell you. Now, once Jiraiya gets back in here, we can discuss who gets Naruto at what time. Said pervert clambers through the me-sized hole in the wall. Naruto tunes out the conversation. He doesn't really care about how he spends his time, just as long as they do it outside of the city. Getting bored, Naruto picks up the last and final scroll. Dear Naruto, my son. My name is Minato Namikaze, the Yondaime Hokage, and the reason for your torment. I am the one who came up with the idea of sealing the Kyuubi no Yoko in you and performed the sealing, giving my soul in exchange for the village. I know that they will not do as a request and treat you like a hero like your mother, and I want to, but I have no choice as the Hokage. I won't ask for your forgiveness, I do not deserve it, but I do ask for your understanding. The seal Shinigami put on you is the Shiki Fujin, dead demon-consuming seal. You may have noticed by now that your chakra is a bit more potent than other shinobi. This is due to the fact that Kushina was 2 months pregnant when I sealed the Kyuubi into you. Because the seal allows a very small amount of the Kyuubi's very potent chakra called Yuki to mix with your still developing chakra network and altering your own chakra on the most basic level. You have either pure Yuki or a Yuki chakra mix running through your body, making your techniques very powerful with just a fraction of the chakra that it normally takes. I have included the entire Namikaze library along with the rest of my 3-pronged kunai that are used for the Hiraishin no Jutsu. I don't know if you will be able to learn it, but I hope you do and carry on the legacy. Included in the library are the blueprints and my notes on the Rasengan and Hiraishin no Jutsu. I cannot begin to describe how sorry I am that I forced such a terrible fate on you. I can only hope that your mother raises you to be a fine young man and that you are able to find peace and someone to love and love you in return. I must go now. The alarms are sounding, meaning the Kyuubi is only a half-hour away and I must prepare the seal. Goodbye and I love you. Minato Namikaze, Yandame Hokage. P.S. Don't get mad with the current Hokage about not telling you about me. I left specific instructions that you are only to be told when you turn 16, or you make the rank of Chunin. I had many enemies that I know would take revenge for what I did out on you, my only heir. Naruto looks up and rolls the scroll up and tosses it on top of the other 3 scrolls. All 3 adults are watching him closely, not knowing what his reaction is going to be. When do we leave? His voice doesn't hold one bit of interest, making the others recoil at the very dead tone and look he is giving off. As soon as you're ready. If you want to leave the 2 letters here with Tsunade Heim, I'm sure she won't have a problem with that. You can seal up Kushina's sword or carry it with you, either is fine. By the time Jiraiya is finished speaking, Naruto is done. He had sealed up the 2 chests and tossed the 2 letters to Tsunade. He straps the katana sheath onto his waist and places the 2 storage scrolls in his bag and is at the door waiting for Jiraiya. He sheaves the sword and Kushina disappears back into the sword. Jiraiya stands and heads for the door before Tsunade stops them both from leaving. Wait. She rushes over to Naruto and gives his a huge hug, but careful not to crush him. Jiraiya gets a small nosebleed when he realizes Naruto's face is in the valley between her mountains of flesh. When she breaks the hug, she leans over to look him in the eye, unintentionally giving Naruto a good look at her breasts while Jiraiya is moving around behind Naruto trying to get a good look. Not that Naruto is looking or even noticing. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for what Sakura. Naruto flinches at the name. What she did to you. You should know that I revoked her shinobi license, and she can no longer be a ninja in this village unless you want her to be. Sasuke will have his license revoked as well and he will never be able to leave the village. Jiraiya is going to seal his chakra too. Naruto shrugs. The bitch can have it back for all I care. I don't intend on seeing her ever again if I can help it. Just don't have the 2 of us on the same team ever. She can burn in the 7 circles of hell for all I care. As for Sasuke, I couldn't care less. Tsunade is shocked at his statement, but can hardly blame him. Okay, I'll reinstate her, but let her know that you didn't do it out of the kindness of your heart, and that she means nothing to you now. Listen, have a good trip and break from this town. When you get back I will see if you have the skills to be a hunter so that you don't have to stay in the city all that often, okay? Naruto nods. That's perfect. Naruto just turns from her. Naruto. One more thing. Naruto turns back. This was not your doing. You have no fault in how this turned out. She took advantage of your loneliness and used it against you. You didn't see how she was acting because you have never had a relationship like that. You don't know that a relationship is based off of mutual trust and respect. They are to blame, not you. I don't want you hating yourself for something you didn't know to look for. Okay? Naruto doesn't answer. She hopes that he is listening. After a few seconds, Naruto shakes his head and walks out the door, not bothering to shut it. Tsunade looks at the open door. Bring him back, Jiraiya. I don't know what I would do if I lost him too. Don't worry. When we return, won't hardly recognize him. 1 year ago, Genin Squad assignment day. Sakura is sitting on a bench, pouting. She had Sasuke right in front of her when he just ran off. Damn it! That was my chance and I blew it, she rages in her mind. Hell yeah you did. Just tie him up next time and jump him for Kami's sake. He inner self berates her. She is about to reply when said emo king walks by. Shinaro! Inner Sakura yells, making Sakura's head swim for a second. Sakura makes a whimper as he walks past, not able to do anything but sit there, marveling at his mere presence. Sasuke, who heard the whimper, turns his head slightly to the side and sees her just sitting there with a massive blush on her face. In an act of a miracle, Sasuke actually sits beside her. "Hey Sakura, you like me, right?" he asks as if he doesn't know. Sakura's blush intensifies tenfold. Why, yeah, she manages to stutter. "Well, I was thinking. Would you do something for me if I promised to go on a date with you?" Sakura nearly faints. She fights to keep the black spots that block her vision from overtaking her. As sure. Time skips 6 hours. Sakura walks along the street, feeling very nervous. She had just left the meeting with Kakashi on top of the academy. As soon as the meeting had ended, she ran from the roof before anyone could stop her. "Hey Sakura-chan," a familiar voice comes from behind her. She turns around and lo and behold, there is the object of her nervousness and reason for leaving the meeting so quickly. Naruto walks up to her. "Are you okay? You seem a little distracted at the meeting." Sakura does her best to act like she is appreciative, but is failing badly. Lucky for her, Naruto has had so little experience with people that he misses it completely. "I'm fine, thanks." The last part is so quiet that Naruto doesn't even hear it. "Well, since you're feeling okay, I was wondering if you would like to go and get some ramen with me." Bao rises up in her throat at the thought of eating that vile calorie-loaded excuse for a food, especially with Naruto. The reflex to shoot him down immediately swells in her veins, making her mouth opens before her brain kicks in and she remembers her conversation with Sasuke. Flashback. "You want me to do what?" she asks. "As I said, I want you to go out with Naruto for a while until I say it's enough. I'm not saying that you have to kiss him or anything, but just spend time with him." Sakura is silent as she thinks. "Well, I do want a date with Sasuke, but Naruto is gross. I bet he doesn't even take showers, judging from the smell." Little does she know that he can't take showers because he gets the water turned off every time he goes to his apartment. He only washes in the nearby river, and he can't use soap or shampoo or he will kill the fish and other water creatures. "But I really want to go on a date, and then rub it in Enopig's face." "I guess I can do that." Sasuke smirks. "Good. Now while you are with Naruto, you can't shout how much better I am than he is or try to talk to me every chance you get. But you definitely can't talk about our deal with anyone or Naruto might find out. This is just between you and me. Just be a normal girlfriend to him minus the kissing part if you want." Sakura nods her head. She can do that. End flashback. "Hello? Konoha to Sakura?" Sakura shakes her head free of the memory. Sure. I'll go to lunch with you, but can we eat something else besides ramen?" Naruto is stunned. Not once has she accepted a request to go on, for all intents and purposes, a date. Naruto quickly shakes that off. "Sure, but there aren't many places that I'm allowed to go into. So what would you like to eat?" "Well, if you wouldn't prank people so much, then people wouldn't mind so much." She is blissfully unaware that his pranks have nothing to do why he is banned from so many places. "How about sushi?" Sushi is her favorite food and eats it as often as she can. Sure. I don't know any places around here." Naruto rubs his head in embarrassment. Sakura sighs and very hesitantly grabs Naruto's wrist before dragging him down the street. Time skip 4 months. Over the next few months since that first date, Sakura goes on many dates with Naruto. Not once have they gone out to Ichiraku's ramen, but to places that she likes and always makes Naruto pay and always orders the most expensive items. Naruto, however, doesn't seem to mind. In fact, people who knew him would say that this is the happiest they have ever seen him. Finally, he has someone to listen to him and pay attention to him. Currently, Sakura and Naruto are at her favorite sushi restaurant again for the 5th time. Naruto is always polite and very courteous, asking if there was anything he could get her or if she needs anything. Right now, Naruto is telling her one of his pranking stories. Sakura-chan?" he asks. Was her response. She has been staring off into space, nibbling in a rolled piece of fish on a fork. "You zoned out again." "Oh, sorry," was the quiet response. Truly though, she wasn't the least bit sorry. All he talks about is some new jutsu that he saw or one of his pranks. Why can't he just shut up for once? How much longer am I going to have to put up with this before Sasuke is my date? Naruto, however, has no idea what is going on inside her head. He takes a deep breath before calming his frayed nerves. Truth be told, he has been extra jittery today because of something he wants to ask her. Hey, Sakura-chan, I have been wondering if you would like to be my girlfriend? He says the end really quickly and recoils, expecting to get hit. Sakura, for her part, had been daydreaming about her date with Sasuke and was brought out of her wonderful dream by the last part of his sentence. What? She asks forcefully. Naruto cringes at the tone, but gathers his courage. I was wondering if you would like to be my girlfriend. Sakura can't believe her ears. Sure, Sasuke had said for a while, but damn it, he didn't say anything about becoming his girlfriend. She decides to go ahead and accept his offer because she can always just dump him. She tells herself that the next chance she gets is going to ask him about it, and he says okay to stop, she will dump him immediately. Sure, Naruto-kun. She has to fight down the wave of nausea when she says kun along with Naruto's name. She only succeeds because she keeps telling herself that it is all to get Sasuke, that this is just a means to an end. Hooray! Naruto leaps up and scoops Sakura in an enormous hug. Again she fights down a wave of bile at his stench. She imagines that these arms are Sasuke's and immediately relaxes into them, even putting her arms around Naruto. Naruto lets go of her and smiles his biggest smile. On the inside, Naruto is struggling to contain his excitement. He is happier than he has ever been. Someone has accepted him for who he is. He takes her hand and tosses the cash on the table and leads her out of the restaurant, noticing the very big flinch when he touched her hand but writes it off as her not being used to contact. Time skip 4 months. Sakura sits in the lap of her 4-month boyfriend. Not that she wants to. It had taken her 3 months to just get this far. Since becoming his girlfriend, she too has been shunned by the populace of Konoha, believing her to be a demon bitch or a demon whore. More than once, Naruto has gotten into brawls over someone calling Sakura a whore and a slut. She has been banned from half the restaurants in the city as well as her family. When asked about dating the demon, she told her parents that she was dating him but only at Sasuke's request. Being the Uchiha lovers they are, they immediately praised Sakura for getting one step closer to having his children. She has also learned more about Naruto himself. Besides writing off being called a demon because of his pranks, she went to his apartment and saw that it was absolutely disgusting. Pieces of wood on the walls and ceiling were rotten and collapsed, the floor had numerous holes in it, making you watch where you had to step, the refrigerator was broken, and the water was the dirtiest she has ever seen. It was almost black in color. She immediately left the apartment, not able to stand the smell of rotting wood and the gas given off by the termites in the walls and wood. Naruto chased after her, but stopped after he got to his stairs as she had already rounded the corner, racing to her home to take a shower. Naruto recalls the conversation that he had with Choji and Shikamaru a few weeks back. Flashback. Naruto is walking down the street, hands in his pockets whistling some off-tune song. He hears someone call his name from behind. He turns and finds Shikamaru and Choji walking up to him. Hey guys. What's up? Naruto asks. Are you busy? We have something troublesome that we need to talk to you about, Shikamaru says in his lazy voice. Sure, I have nothing to do. I have to meet Sakura in 2 hours for a date, but other than that I'm free as a bird. Shikamaru mutters a troublesome before motioning Naruto and Choji to follow. After a few minutes' walk, they enter training ground 4. It is mostly a thin forest with small animals. Teams come here to train their tracking abilities. So what's up? Naruto, have you noticed anything odd about Sakura? Shikamaru asks. He lays on the ground and watches the clouds go past through the holes in the canopy above them. What do you mean? Naruto asks guardedly. Munch, what he means is, have you noticed any strange behavior from her? Choji asks between breaks and eating his chips. No. Why? What's this about? Shikamaru sighs. As troublesome as it is, we want to let you know that we think Sakura isn't genuine in her wanting to go out with you. What the hell are you talking about? Naruto shouts, making the birds above them take flight from the sudden noise. Look, Munch, don't take this the Munch wrong way. She is a great person, Munch, but she doesn't act like she wants to be with you. Did you notice her sudden attitude change 8 months ago when she first said yes to goes out with you on a date? She doesn't bother Sasuke anymore, she doesn't go mouthing off about how great he is, she doesn't defend him when someone else besides you insult him, and she doesn't fight over him with Ino. What prompted her to have a complete change of heart in a few minutes? I think that it is because she doesn't really want to be with you. Look, Munch, she doesn't act like a normal girlfriend. She flinches whenever you grab her hand. When you Munch hug her, she tenses up a lot and then relaxes. She Munch berates you all the time. she hits you twice as much as in the academy. Have you ever gone to a munch place that you wanted to eat? Well, no, but I don't have a problem with that. Has she even kissed you? Does she tell you that she likes you or given you a present or given you any type of moral or emotional support? I see her forced smiles, the strain in her voice when she uses the kun at the end of your name. She stands as far away from you as possible without drawing attention to herself. She uses every excuse she can think of to get away from you. She doesn't enjoy spending time with you from the pained look on her face every time you hug her. Well, we haven't kissed. She said she wants to save that for a special occasion. I don't care about the rest of that. All I care about is that she pays attention to me. She listens to me, spends time with me. That's more than I can say with 99% of the people in this village. Naruto, we just want to keep you from being hurt. Sakura isn't the kind of person who doesn't change who she is in a matter of hours without something drastic happening that we would have heard about. Naruto lowers his eyes so that his bangs cover his face. When he looks up, his eyes are shining in anger. I don't care about the way she acts or what you think about she would or wouldn't do. She is my girlfriend and I trust her more than anyone. She is the first person to accept me like I am enough to go out with me. Do you know what it feels like to not have a friend until you were 9? Do you know what it feels like to not know who your parents are? To wonder if they ever loved you? If they thought I wasn't worthy of them? Do you know what it's like to go home to an empty, run-down apartment night after night? When I can't own anything of value because the moment I do have something, it gets stolen or my apartment gets burned down again. When I'm with Sakura, I don't have a care in the world. She completes me. I can't imagine what I would do without her. Now Shikamaru and Choji get really worried. Sakura has Naruto wrapped around her finger, and they can only hope that she chooses the right path because if not, there's no telling what Naruto would do. End flashback. Naruto is waiting for Sakura outside her house so they can go to a team meeting together. Naruto turns as Sakura exits her house and was about to sneak around the side and avoid Naruto when he spots her. What are you doing, Sakura-chan? He asks in his normal happy self. Sakura looks at him like a deer in headlights. She looks away quickly and cursing her luck at getting caught. I dropped something out the window. Yeah, was sitting next to this window when I knocked something off and I was going to look as I left the house. She commends herself on thinking up something so quickly. But she soon realizes that it is the wrong thing to come up with. Naruto is immediately over her fence and on his knees looking for the dropped object. Sakura stands up and just lets Naruto do the dirty work. She contemplates leaving him here, but it would just make things harder for her later on. I can't find it. What was it again? He asks. She rolls her eyes. Can he get any dumber? Don't worry about it. We need to get to the meeting. Sakura doesn't wait for Naruto, and she immediately starts walking down the street. She hears Naruto run up beside her, and before she can stop him, he grabs her hand and holds it as they walk down the street. Hey, Sakura-chan. I never told you this, but Shikamaru and Choji had a talk with me a few weeks ago about you. Sakura's heart stops. Inside she is freaking out. What the hell were they talking about? Why would they talk to him about me? I've done nothing that. Shut the hell up and listen and you will probably find out. Inner yells at outer. They said that they think you aren't genuine as they put it in wanting to be with me. They kept saying that you did things that girlfriends don't usually do, but I don't care about those things. I like you because of those things make you unique. I told them that I don't care about what you do as long as you want to be with me. You do, don't you? Naruto is leaving himself on a diving board over a deep pool with no water. Sakura, for her part, is shocked at his words. He likes her because of the things she does to minimize her time and contact with him. Naruto, you really are an idiot. She is too shallow to realize the meaning behind it. Time skip 2 months. Sakura is walking down the street having just gotten rid of Naruto at his apartment. Naruto had taken to kissing her on the cheek, making her involuntarily cringe every time. She sighs as she walks to her house for a scrub down to get his germs off of her skin. She walks past the main gates and takes a left and walks further down. Usually she doesn't take this route, but for some reason she feels compelled to tonight. As she walks, she spots a boy with black hair and a backpack walking towards the main gate. Wait, why is Sasuke here? The Uchiha compound is on the other side of Konoha. And why does he have a backpack? Sasuke-kun, she calls out. Said Uchiha stops in his tracks and a smirk comes over his face. Hello, Sakura. She approaches him and jumps up happily. What's the backpack for Sasuke-kun? I'm leaving. Simple as that. Sakura's proverbial bubble fluctuates, being poked at by Sasuke on the outside. What? What about our deal? Sasuke tilts his head back and laughs, a very creepy and evil laugh. Did you honestly think that I would actually go on a date with a weakling like you? You aren't worth me spending any extra time with you, much less eating a meal I won't like in a place that I definitely won't like. Now Sakura's bubble bursts. She falls to the ground, crushed. Why would you make the deal then? She manages through a torrent of tears. Sasuke chuckles again. Because I wanted Naruto to get close to you. With that, he knocks her on the back of the neck and just leaves her lying on the dirty ground as he jumps over a low section of wall and out into the forest. Time skip 5 hours. Naruto stands with Shino, Choji, Shikamaru, Niji, and Kiba at the gates. They had just arrived to go after Sasuke. They turn to leave when a sobbing and dirty Sakura stops them. Go on ahead, guys. I need to talk with her for a few minutes. Shikamaru gets a bad feeling in his stomach, but nods anyways, and the four jump away towards Otogekure. What's the matter, Sakura-chan? Naruto hugs her to calm her down, but she pushes him away. Bring him back. Bring back my Sasuke-kun. Naruto blinks for a second. Her Sasuke. What? What do you mean? She looks up, her eyes red and puffy. She grabs his collar and shakes him violently. Promise me you will bring him back. She snarls at him. Naruto, not really knowing what to do, just nods. Okay. I promise to bring him back. I have to go now. Naruto tries to hug her, but she fights him off and shouts for him to go. Now really confused, Naruto jumps off after his squad mates and forces his confusion to the back of his mind until after the mission. Time skip 2 hours. Sasuke and Naruto stand on opposite statues at the valley at the end. So you came? How's Sakura? Sasuke asks without turning around. That's none of your damn business. Under orders of the Hokage, you are to go back to the village immediately. Sasuke laughs. And you think you can make me? I'll bring you back even if I have to break every bone on your body. Sasuke turns around and finally faces Naruto. Then show me. Sasuke jumps across the gap and charges Naruto, Sharingan blazing. Sasuke launches a roundhouse at Naruto's head, intent on making this a quick fight. But Naruto ducks under it and uses an uppercut aimed at Sasuke's chin. He sees this, however, and moves to the side, making Naruto miss and leaving him wide open. So, how's Sakura doing after I left her in the dirt? Naruto blood starts to boil. What the hell did you do to her? Naruto's anger makes him faster and stronger. He avoids a back fist aimed for his face and punches Sasuke in the chest, making him take a couple of steps back. I didn't do anything. I asked her a favor almost a year ago and she ran with it. Sasuke does a front kick. He then presses the attack with taijutsu, since Naruto's poor excuse for taijutsu isn't his weakest category, but it is abysmal at best and non-existent at worst. Sasuke forces Naruto back before kicking Naruto in the side of the leg, forcing him to one knee. Sasuke then brings his other knee right into Naruto's face. The impact shatters Naruto's chin in 3 places. Naruto hits the ground and lies on there, waiting for Kyuubi to heal his injuries. You see, Dobe, Sakura only dated you because I asked her to. This whole time she has been faking, and you didn't pick up on it at all. In fact, you defended her. Naruto, having his jaw fixed, lets out a low growl. Suddenly a red layer of chakra envelopes Naruto. Before Sasuke can even lift a finger, he has a fist in his gut. Spit flies out of Sasuke's mouth and hits Naruto's external chakra. It hisses as it evaporates. Shut up. Sakura-chan would never do that. Naruto continues to beat the stuffing out of Naruto. Suddenly Sasuke can see Naruto's actions before they happen. Finally. My Sharingan must have matured. This dope stands no chance now. Sasuke intercepted Naruto's punch and backhands Naruto, forcing him away. Naruto rushes Sasuke once he recovers, but with his new Sharingan, Naruto doesn't stand a chance and is getting beat pretty badly. Why can't I beat him? I can't fail Sakura-chan. I won't. I need more power. Out of the chakra cloud, a tail pops out. Naruto's fingers are claws and his eyes are slitted. A pair of ears on top of the chakra shield gives him the distinct look of an animal. I will bring you back. Naruto disappears and Sasuke finds a foot in his stomach. As he flies back, he falls off the edge and splashes into the reservoir. Naruto follows him down, but uses chakra to stand on the water, making it steam and partly cloud him vision. Naruto looks around and a bubbling a few feet away from him alerts him to something. Suddenly a burst of flames comes from the water aimed right at him. Naruto doesn't make any attempt to dodge and is engulfed in the flames. Sasuke climbs on top of the water panting. Stupid dope. Can't even dodge a fireball. He is about to leave when the fire dies down, leaving an untouched Naruto. What, how? Instead of answering, lets out a primal roar. It is so loud that it makes Sasuke a little light-headed from his inner ear being disrupted. Deciding he needs more, he activates the first level of the curse mark. Let's go dope, was all he says before blurring away. Unfortunately for Sasuke, with Naruto's QB-enhanced eyes and speed, he can easily keep up. With a massive swing of his hand sideways, he lets loose several horizontal waves of chakra slashes, right at Sasuke. Shit, was all he could think before allowing himself to sink underneath the surface of the water. Naruto looks around and hears a sound behind him. Chidori. 1,000 birds. Naruto moves to the left and finds the tips of Sasuke's right hand through his right shoulder. If he hadn't moved, it would have been his heart. With a howl of pain that nearly makes Sasuke deaf, Naruto grabs Sasuke's fingers and doesn't allow him to move. Sasuke yells in pain as the violent chakra burns his fingers. It only gets worse when Naruto wraps his tail around Sasuke's chest, burning completely through his clothes and burning his skin. After about a minute, Naruto flings Sasuke to dry ground while the hole in his shoulder heals. Sasuke struggles to get up after receiving the worst burning of his life. Blackened skin now scars his chest. As Naruto reaches the shore, he glares at Sasuke. More. I need more. If the damn dope can beat me, I won't stand a chance. More. 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 Sasuke's body erupts in purple churka, completely encasing his body. A diamond of darker skin now resides over his nose while his skin is just a few shades lighter. He also has a pair of very creepy hand-looking wings. Ha 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 ha. The power. With this power, I can easily defeat Itachi. Now, dope. You're in my way. Sasuke blurs away again, but this time Naruto just barely keeps up. A right hook to Naruto's face sends him back out on the water. Sasuke doesn't let up. He connects with a right kick to Naruto's ribs that would have broken them had he not had the chakra shield. Naruto slides across the water and rights himself before giving a massive roar and charging Sasuke, who just stands there, Sharingan spinning wildly. Naruto slashes at Sasuke, who sidesteps them and kicks Naruto in the chest, sending him away. But Naruto isn't going down alone. When Sasuke kicked him, he wrapped his tail around the left leg that is still on the water, and when he is kicked back, Sasuke follows him. Naruto lands on all four limbs and elongates his tail, making it several dozen times longer than normal. He keeps Sasuke suspended in the air, all the while burning his leg. He attempts to right himself with his wings, but the hold on his leg intensifies as well as the burns. Naruto then lets out a massive roar and slams Sasuke into the ravine walls. Again. And again. And again. On his 12th time smashing Sasuke, he drags him along the wall, leg first followed very quickly by his chest and face. With one last whip of his tail, he flicks Sasuke into the wall on the other side on the lake. Sasuke slides down the wall and slumps against the wall, barely conscious. Even with LV2 activated and makes his skin harder, it is no match for repeated smashes and drags. Naruto pounces up to where Sasuke is. Seeing his grievous injuries and that he is barely conscious, Naruto's chakra cloak drops, leaving him severely tired, burned, and depleted. He limps up to Sasuke, who has lost his LV2 and is back to his normal self. Naruto is a few inches from picking Sasuke up to carry him back when Sasuke's arm glows. It gets brighter and Naruto wonders what the hell is going on. Suddenly Sasuke's eyes snap open. Chidori. Naruto is too tired and slow to dodge it completely. Naruto finds Sasuke's hand in his chest again. But Naruto isn't going to back down. He takes his left hand, the only hand he can use since Sasuke's Chidori is messing with the nerves in his right side, and chokes Sasuke. His hand closes around the vein and artery on both sides of his neck and Sasuke instantly starts to feel lightheaded. After 10 seconds of Naruto squeezing, Sasuke loses consciousness. His arm slumps out of Naruto's chest and allows the wound to begin healing. Combined with the previous injury from the Chidori, Naruto has a huge hole in the right side of his chest. Technically, he shouldn't even be alive, much less standing. Naruto sighs and grips Sasuke with his left, and as hard as he can and jumps out of the Valley of the End and begins his long trek back to Konoha. After 10 minutes of walking, Kakashi jumps in front of him. Seeing Sasuke in his condition, he freaks out. "What the hell did you do? How could you do this to your own teammate?" he shouts. Naruto rolls his eyes. He is tired of Kakashi's favoritism towards the Uchiha, but is too tired to do anything about it. "Take him to the hospital. I'll catch up." Kakashi immediately takes Sasuke and shuns towards Konoha. Well, one problem solved. Now I just have to get back. Naruto walks for a good half hour before medics arrive. Naruto gratefully lays down on the stretcher and allows darkness to claim him. A faint smile is seen on his lips. He completed the mission and kept his promise to Sakura. Time skips 6 hours, Konoha Main Hospital. Naruto wakes to a pain alternating between sharp and dull in his chest. He forces his eyes open. He is staring at a blank ceiling. He tilts his head to the right and sees his chest wrapped in a massive bandage and in 4 lodged in his right arm. "Ah, Naruto, you're awake," a voice calls. Naruto turns to the other side and sees Tsunade sitting next to his bed, reading glasses on with a book in her hand. What happened?" "You stopped Sasuke from leading the village. During the fight you took a couple of high-rank assassination techniques to the chest. On top of that, you used the Kyuubi's chakra for an extended period of time which left your coils burned out and chakra burns all over your body. The hole in your chest was closing when you arrived here and isn't quite finished healing. You will have to stay here for a few days to gain your strength back and for observation." She is expecting Naruto to fight her on this like every other time, but he oddly doesn't. "Where is Sakura-chan?" Tsunade frowns. She hasn't left Sasuke's room once since you got back. She hasn't asked on your condition." She watches Naruto's reaction. "How is Sasuke?" he asks quietly. "You did a number on him. All his ribs are broken, he has a very severe concussion, a punctured left lung, severe burns across his chest and left leg, severe chakra exhaustion, and somehow a fractured tailbone." Naruto looks down. So he is pretty hurt. The guilt in his voice can't get any thicker. Tsunade sighs. This always happens to people who are forced to fight each other like that, who are or have been on the same team. "You did what you had to. You didn't kill him and should make a full recovery with a scar over the burned sections of his chest. You showed a lot of restraint when using the Kyuubi's chakra. Most people lose control while using a Bijuu's chakra like that." Naruto nods. Tsunade can only guess as to his line of thinking. "Can I go and see him?" Tsunade looks at him over her glasses. She has a feeling on why he wants to go, and see him is not for him but the person who has yet to leave his room. "Sure. I don't see why not. Just be careful. You should also visit the rest of your team. They are all on the same floor as you. Sasuke is in room 205 down the hall to the left." "Thanks, Bachan." Naruto gets up very slowly as his right side is still very sore. With Tsunade's help, he shuffles out the door with her right behind him on her way back to her office across town. He reaches Sasuke's room. Tsunade puts a hand on his shoulder in support and walks past him. He opens the door and doesn't get 2 steps inside before he is punched in the face so hard he flies into the wall. He looks up and sees a seething Sakura over him. What was that for?" he asks. You did this to him and you have the gall to ask what you did?" she says with as much venom as she can while pointing at Sasuke's form. "I did what I had to. He wouldn't come back with me, so I fought him to complete the mission and to keep my promise to you." "You didn't have to put him into a coma." Naruto is starting to get mad. "What the hell was I supposed to do? He put 2 holes in my chest. He was trying to kill me." "That is no excuse to do that to my Sasuke-kun." "Wait, you're Sasuke? What the hell? You're my girlfriend. You're supposed to be on my side when someone like the Hokage gives me an order to bring him back forcibly." Sakura gives a dark chuckle. "Your girlfriend, huh? Well, sorry to you know what? I'm not sorry to say this. I never wanted to be your girlfriend. I never liked you. I hate spending time with you. You smell like a pig, you don't shut up, you have the filthiest place I have ever seen. You can't compare to someone like Sasuke-kun. The only reason I went out on a date with you is so I could go on a date with him. And when he left he said he would never go out with me, so why should I keep pretending to be your girlfriend?" Naruto just stares at her, his brain trying to comprehend the meaning behind her words. "But what about?" He doesn't get a chance to finish. I never enjoyed your company. I could barely stomach it. Every time you touched me, I had to fight to keep my food down. I flinched every time you took my hand. When we hugged, I only took it because I imagined that you were Sasuke. You make me sick. Did you never notice how I would always pick the most expensive things on our dates? Did you not notice how I would always find an excuse to get away, or how I would put as much distance between us as possible? Cammy, you are the dumbest person I know. And then you hurt my Sasuke-kun. I never want to see your face again. If I do, then I will kill you with my bare hands. Naruto his whole time is dumbstruck. Neither notice that his chest is now crimson with his blood from the gaping holes still there. What's worse is that the door is still wide open, allowing the entire floor to hear her rant. Just as she finishes, Naruto collapses. His mind unable to deal with the stress. Sakura is contemplating throwing him out the window when Tsunade bursts into the room. She looks from Naruto on the ground unconscious to the very fresh bruise on his face, and the blood-soaked bandages, then to Sakura, who is flushed after her little speech. Tsunade wants to rip into her, but she has more pressing things to deal with. She picks Naruto up and faces the door, where she stops for a second. You better not leave this room, Haruno. You and I are going to have a discussion after he is stabilized. And with that she leaves the room, leaving Sakura to poke her head out the door at the retreating form of the Hokage. When she looks the other way, she sees most of her class and a few of the others glaring at her. What? She asks. Shikamaru gets up and gets an inch from her face, his own reflecting pure, barely contained rage. How dare you do that to Naruto? Hasn't he had enough suffering in one lifetime that you have to rip his heart out of his chest and rip it into 1,000 pieces? I don't, she starts before being cut off by a now red-faced Shikamaru. Fucking shut up. You fucking cuntbag. You don't realize what you have done to him. You are so blinded by your crush that you just trampled on one of the greatest heroes that this village has ever known. The whole group is stunned by his outburst. Shikamaru never has done this in his life. Not once has he ever raised his voice. But he doesn't stop with that. He is like an avalanche. He is on a roll and there is nothing anybody can do to stop him. You remember your mission to Waves, right? You remember what he yelled at Inari, right? Well, guess what? Everything that happened to him in the past was nothing compared to what you did. After all the shit this village put him through, he still put a smile on. He still laughed, and made jokes, and tried to make our lives a little happier at his own. You, however, had no regard for him, and you took advantage of his need for attention and love, and you ripped him to shreds. You had better hope that he is okay, or else this village won't be enough to save you from my wrath. With that, Shikamaru turns on his heels and is about to storm away when he stops and turns back to slap her in the face. Hard. So hard that it leaves his hand stinging and an enormous red mark on her face. Then he turns and leaves, not once looking back. One by one, her friends all follow his example, sending glare after glare and calls like bitch and backstabber as they pass. After they leave, does the gravity of what she did hit her. She collapses to the ground and cries in self-pity for herself. Just outside of Konohagakure no Sato, Naruto is walking behind Jiraiya, not really paying attention to where his feet are taking him. He is just relieved to get out of that Kami-forsaken village. But he isn't paying attention at all, just numbly walking along, not really thinking. And yes, men have the ability to just do something without thinking, contrary to most women's beliefs that the male brain is always working. But if he would have been paying attention, he would have noticed that his feet are carrying him somewhere that isn't in the direction that Jiraiya is walking. Jiraiya looks behind him to see Naruto walking off at a 45-degree angle from his own path. He yells Naruto's name to get his attention, but no luck. He runs after Naruto before he gets too far. What are you doing, Naruto? We need to get to my contact, he says. Naruto just keeps on plodding away like he never heard a thing that Jiraiya said. Jiraiya places a hand on Naruto's shoulder, but the instant he makes contact he is blasted away by pure chakra. Not knowing what the hell just hit him, he jumps back towards Naruto and tries to physically stop him, but the same result occurs, but with more force. Jiraiya has no option but let Naruto continue and follow closely. After an hour or so, Jiraiya notices that they are on top of the mountain overlooking Konoha. Naruto stops so suddenly that Jiraiya almost makes the mistake of bumping into him. Naruto just stands in one stop, eyes closed. After a minute or so, Jiraiya is about to ask what they are doing there when he feels a huge chakra spike from Naruto. As Naruto flares his chakra to its fullest extent, Jiraiya falls to his knees, unable to keep up with the pressure. A few more seconds and the chakra stops, allowing Jiraiya to breathe again, stand back up. Suddenly the whole mountain starts to shake, forcing Jiraiya to hold onto a tree for support. He looks back to Naruto when the ground under Naruto's feet cracks and falls out from under him. Naruto! Jiraiya quickly jumps after him, biting his thumb and ready to summon Gamabunta. But after a short, pitch-black fall, Jiraiya feels himself slowing on his own. He eventually reaches the bottom and gently stops a centimeter off the ground. He climbs to his feet and sends chakra to his senses. The tunnel is pitch black. No light, not even from the hole he jumped through. He hears someone walking further down the tunnel. He feels a very soft breeze blowing down the tunnel as well. He does a quick katan jutsu and a ball of fire orbits his head. He creates two more, an uninterrupted light source. Jiraiya quickly follows the footsteps he assumes is Naruto's. After walking what seems like hours in the twisting tunnel, it starts to slop downward. Jiraiya speeds up, hoping to catch Naruto before something happens to him. After a half hour of more walking, Jiraiya comes across a huge cavern. The ceiling is so high he can't even see it or the back wall. He brightens the spheres of fire orbiting him, giving more light. He listens and follows the sounds of footsteps. Another minute of walking and he finds Naruto just standing there. Naruto? This time Naruto turns around. Jiraiya notices something about Naruto. His eyes hold curiosity instead of apathy. They still are dead inside, but not as much. Hey Ero-sennin. I was wondering when you would get down here, Naruto calls in a monotone voice. Inside Jiraiya is jumping for joy. Not once since the hospital incident has he called him Ero-sennin. So what is this place? Asks Naruto. Jiraiya looks confused. Me? Why should I know? I was following you here, then you flared your chakra causing the ground underneath you to cave and then walked down the tunnel. So I should be asking you. Naruto rubs his head. I don't know. I was walking behind you, not paying attention, next thing I know I'm down here. Jiraiya is about to answer when he sees something gleam off the light from his fire. He walks over to his and sees that it is a tray of some sort with a thick, smelly, and dark liquid inside. Having seen one of these before, he directs one of his balls to touch the liquid. The moment the ball makes contact, it ignites the substance. The fire zooms down the tray. Naruto and Jiraiya follow it around the room. Suddenly it takes an incline and is gone. Naruto and Jiraiya stare in disappointment at the spot the fire trail disappears. Suddenly the whole cavern is filled with light. They look up and see that the tray didn't end where they thought it did. It just blocked the fire since they were standing under it. They look at the light source. It seems to be a massive ball of fire suspended by nothing, like a miniature sun just floating right above them. They look around the newly lit room. They find themselves at the center of a colossal cavern. It is bigger than either one of them thought. The ceiling goes at least 300 feet above them. The walls stretch out 200 feet in all directions. At the opposite end of the entrance there is a very big shrine. What in Kami's name is this place? Naruto asks in wonder. I don't know. I didn't even know this place even existed, Jiraiya whispers out in amazement. Just imaging the power someone had to carve this place out. It looks to be perfectly symmetrical and I don't even know what that is above our heads and how it is powered, he thinks, referring to the sun above them. They cautiously approach the shrine. It is a very old building and very ornate. Naruto decides, think the style of the Forbidden City in China. It is very simple, but very regal and practically shouts power and respect. They reach the altar and a tablet bigger than Jiraiya with something written on it. Said Sannin moves forward, completely intrigued and engrossed. Damn. I can't read this. It looks to be a dead language, but the stone looks hundreds of years old. Jiraiya feels a faint power from the stone and Ye of Uzumaki by name and blood, surrender your hands and be judged. But heed the warning, should you be judged unworthy, you will experience something far worse than death. Jiraiya looks to the side and sees that it is Naruto who read it. Gaki, did you just read that? Naruto nods his head slowly. I don't know how I'm able to read it, just that I am. I think the stone wants me to put my hand on it. Jiraiya's eyes go wide. What? No. Out of the question. This stone has a power signature to it. There is no telling what it will do to you. Naruto ignores him and stretches out his hand and touches a finger to it. Instantly his entire palm is pulled flush against the stone. Then something happens. Naruto screams in agony. He tries to pull his hand away, but it doesn't even budge. Jiraiya joins in and pulls with him, but no success. They continue to try to pull free when Naruto goes rigid. Jiraiya starts to panic and lets Naruto go and forms a Rasengan and prepares to demolish the stone. Right before Jiraiya slams the Rasengan into the slab when Naruto is released and slumps to the ground in a state of semi-consciousness. He immediately cancels the jutsu and rushes over to Naruto. Jiraiya looks at Naruto's hand. The skin was gone. He watches in amazement as he watches the skin grows back. He looks to the stone, but finds no trace of any blood or skin. Just as Naruto fully regains his senses, voices reach them. They turn to see Tsunade and 2 full squads of Anbu running towards them. Jiraiya, what the hell happened and what is this place and why are you here? I thought you left. She demands. I don't know, Haim. What are you doing here? He asks, slightly stunned at her arrival. The entire village felt that chakra surge and I came here ready to do battle. Was that you? And what happened? She asks, concerned. Jiraiya looks to Naruto for a second. Well, first that churka came from the Gaki. He gets a vibe from the Anbu. A badger Anbu steps forward, Tanto drawn. The demon is breaking free. We must kill him now before. The badger masked Anbu falls dead, skewered by another Anbu through the back of his neck. I apologize, Hokage-sama. He was extremely rude and out of line. It will not happen again, the bird-masked Anbu says, clearly a captain, if not in charge after Tsunade of the Anbu. His statement is meant for the other Anbu more than Tsunade, and it is not lost on the other Anbu who shift uncomfortably. As I was saying, we were leaving the area when Naruto just started walking in a different direction. He says he doesn't know what happened. He just stopped right above the hole and flared his chakra. Then the ground caved in and I went in after him and it led us here. I had no idea something like this existed inside the mountain. Anyways, we come across this shrine here and there is something written on it. I couldn't read it, but Naruto did. After that he placed a hand on it and started screaming. I tried to get his hand off, but I couldn't get it off, so I was about to use a Rasengan on it when it let him go. He just recovered when you showed up. Tsunade turned to look at Naruto. You might want to tell the Anbu to go, he says nonchalantly. Tsunade raised an eyebrow. Oh really? And what makes you say that? Because I have information regarding this place that nobody but the Hokage should know. Obviously you would just tell Jiraiya about it later anyway, so he should stay, but the Anbu shouldn't hear this. Tsunade gives Naruto a calculating look, checking for anything abnormal. After a minute, she can't find any and dismisses the Anbu. Naruto then unsheathes his divine sword and summons Kushina once they are out of sight. Oh, I wasn't expecting to be let out this soon again. Are we going to? She trails off as she takes in her surroundings. No, we're not training right now. Tell me, mother, what do you know of the Uzumaki history? He asks. Kushina looks confused for a second. Not all that much. While I was tasked with the library's survival, I have read very little of it. I do know that the Uzumaki were unnaturally good at Fuinjutsu, and we have a very long lifespan with several clan members reaching 140 before dying of old age. Not much after that. Why? Naruto nods. Because this tomb is something that belongs to the Uzumaki. The three are stunned. What do you mean? How could it belong to the Uzumaki? They came from Uzugakure, not Konoha, Tsunade says. Naruto holds up a hand to stop further questions. He turns around and faces the stone. Jiraiya then notices that the writing is different and a lot more of it on the stone. Naruto begins to read. Ye of Uzumaki heritage have been found worthy. Heed this message well and find the other tombs. Before time itself was created, there are 4 gods and goddesses. Asumi, the goddess of creation. Kami, the goddess of life. Shinigami, the god of death. And Kratos, the god of destruction. Asumi was lent the power of the other gods and thus the universe was born. In that universe is the diamond in the rough, the crowning achievement of Asumi, her greatest creation. Earth. Within this one seemingly insignificant planet lays the most complex and sophisticated ecosystem ever to be created. This truly unique planet houses trillions upon trillions of unique life forms, all living in a perfect cycle of birth, maturity, decline, and death. But her single greatest creation was born. Humans. Kami, or commonly known as Fate, rules over the living, deciding what is to happen and how it happens. Shinigami, also referred to as the Reaper, takes the souls of the dead and places them in hell or heaven. The requirements for either are not known. And lastly, Kratos craves all that is chaotic and destructive. Whether it is simple mindless destruction or the killing or life forms, he desires it. Eventually Kratos' desire to destroy grew, and over eons, his lust for destruction grew to unquenchable amounts. So he set to destroy the very gods and goddesses that built the galaxy. To occupy his time, he detached a piece of himself and flung it down to earth. This fully sentient thing was named the Jubi, destruction and chaos incarnate. He sent Jubi down to earth with simple instructions: kill, destroy, create mayhem, panic, and despair. For decades, the Jubi rained down destruction on the helpless planet, while Kratos moved on to bigger plans. While the Jubi rained destruction and terror on Earth, the other three gods and goddesses confronted Kratos. A massive battle ensued, causing great destruction, nearly destroying the universe itself. Kratos had planned on this, but he was defeated and sealed away for all of time to. To ensure that balance was maintained, Shinigami was tasked with destruction as well as death. As for the Jubi, Asumi had a solution: the Sage of the Six Paths, created by Asumi and chosen by Kami to save the world. This man was dangerously powerful, vehemently peaceful, and near omnipotent. The sage did battle with the Jubi, but found it impossible to kill. But the sage defeated it by sealing it inside himself. However, the sealing of the Jubi had an unexpected result. The Jubi's Metsuki no Kami, Eyes of God, that come directly from Kratos, integrated with the sage's own DNA and became the first dojutsu. When the sage two sons, he knew that his full dojutsu was too powerful, too corrupting. So he broke it up, the Sharingan and the Rinnegan. The wielders of the Sharingan later become known as the Uchiha, and the wielders of the Rinnegan are the Uzumaki. The Sharingan will have a limited ability to predict enemy movements and detect, decipher, and copy chakra manipulation. The Rinnegan will have limited control over the five main elements, only along with gravity manipulation, and very limited control over the recently deceased. There are tombs of the Sage of the Six Paths scattered around the continent as a failsafe for future generations. These tombs contain power locked away by the Sage of the Six Paths to ensure world safety. One must pass 6 tests to gain all these powers. Each tomb bestows a different power as well as fully activating the full Metsuki no Kami. The tomb of the monk activates the domination over fire. The tomb of the warrior activates the dominion over wind and the first stage of the Rinnegan, allowing the user access to all basic elements. The tomb of the healer activates the supremacy over earth and life. The tomb of the priest activates the omnipotence over lightning and injects the DNA for the Sharingan, and activates it to its 3-tomo stage. The tomb of the protector activates the sovereignty over water and gravity. And the tomb of the goddess finishes with command over demon chakra and fully activates the Metsuki no Kami. The tombs will restore, if all 6 challenges are passed, the full dojutsu of the Sage of the Six Paths. Each tomb will allow full control over an elemental chakra. The 6th and final tomb will allow full control over Bijou or demon chakra no matter how much. This is because the sage was the original Jinchuriki and had full command over the Bijou chakra. Head across to a place of waves of movable earth, where the sun is harshest and the moon is most unforgiving. Look for what no man can live without. Look underneath the underneath to find the wind. The entire time, the 3 of them are silent, listening. It was a little difficult since Naruto's voice never changed pitch, never showed any interest. So this is quiet the development? Tsunade asks, clearly still shocked about the whole thing. Naruto shakes his head. That it is. I would have never imagined that I am a descendant of the Sage of Six Paths. Jiraiya tilts his head in confusion. So if this place was built by the Sage of the Six Paths and if what it said is true, then do you have control over fire? Naruto nods his head. Not only did I gain power over the elements, but the stone also contains memories of the sage's personal fire techniques. Take this for example. He points to the giant ball of fire. That is a jutsu called Seijin, Tengaku no Kari, sage style, heaven's light. It produces light and heat, but it doesn't burn or produce smoke. I can manipulate fire too. To make a point, Naruto holds out his hand and reaches for the fire and the sphere floating in the air. A trail of fire makes its way from the ball and wraps itself around Naruto's arm, not burning a single hair or piece of clothing, but they have a feeling that it is not due to the armor. In a sudden movement, Naruto opens his hand and swings his arm to the side. Seijin, Bino no Narakunosoko, he says coolly. Sage style, flames of the abyss. The flames jump from his hand and whip entirely made of fire coils itself around his arm. With a flick of his wrist, he sends the fire whip and cracks it on the ground, making a 2-foot cut in the ground. The 3 Kage-level shinobi stare wide-eyed at the display of power. He didn't make a hand sign, mold chakra, or even use any chakra at all from what they can tell. He manipulated the fire without using any conventional means. That is only one thing I can do now without more practice and chakra control. He changes the whip to a sword and shield, then to a staff, and finally to a giant lake. I have absolute control over fire. While I can't freely create fire without using chakra, I don't use any to manipulate it. Kushina's eyes frown in confusion. Sochi-san, if you knew this, why ask the question about the clan? Because I wanted to know if any others unlocked the Rinnegan, he answers with a shrug. Well, I don't know. The Rinnegan is supposed to be an extremely rare dojutsu. Only a few in history have been recorded to have it. If it really does reside in the Uzumaki blood, then why would so few activate? She muses more to herself than to the others. I guess it's because the sage didn't want to attract attention to the clan. If it was known that the Rinnegan resided with the Uzumaki, the clan would constantly be under attack or bombarded with requests to marry or just straight-up proposition. Plus it would lead to an Uchiha-sized ego, Jiraiya comments. What about that last part? It obviously is a clue to the next tomb. Anybody have any ideas? Tsunade asks. There is silence while everyone thinks about the riddle. When nobody answers, Tsunade turns to Naruto. We can think about this later. Right now we should probably get out of here before the Umbu start to wonder about what is taking us so long. Naruto, I want to go to the hospital with me just to check and see if you are alright. I will not take no for an answer. There is no telling what this stone did to you. Naruto sighs. There is no point in arguing, as Tsunade would just knock him out and carry him. Fine, but make it quick. I don't want to be in this village any more than I have to be. Tsunade recoils at this. He has every right to say that, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt when he does so. Time skips 6 hours. Tsunade sighs as she plops down in her chair behind the desk. She had just gotten back from the hospital from checking Naruto. She couldn't find anything wrong. In fact, his body seems to only have gotten better. She ordered a few days' observation and a blood test, which would take a while. Naruto had complained, but when threatened with bodily harm, he caved. A knock on her door alerts her to a visitor. She composes herself. Enter. The door swings open, revealing a red-eyed Sakura. You wish to see me, Hokage-sama? She says timidly. Her hair is dirty and has several knots in it, her skin is clammy and caked with dirt, and her clothes are wrinkled and filthy, like she hasn't changed in days. Yes. Have a seat. Sakura slowly walks over and fearfully sits, afraid of being lashed out at. Tsunade reaches into a desk drawer and pulls something out. She slides it across the wide desk where it stops on the edge, facing Sakura. Said girl's eyes go wide. You are only getting this back because of Naruto, she says dangerously. The item is her license that Tsunade hadn't had a chance to incinerate yet. Sakura perks up at this. Perhaps there is a chance that things can still work out so she can save face with her friends. She reaches out to grab it, but Tsunade yanked it back quickly, startling her. Listen and listen well. If it were me, you would never get this back, but I left it up to Naruto. With that being said, you are dead to him. This was a parting gift. He has requested that you never be put on the same team, same mission, or anywhere near him in an official capacity. And I am quite motivated to grant that request. Sakura deflates at this. She means nothing to him now. How is she going to face her friends now? As of now, you are on probation. You will not leave this village without my expressed authority. You will only conduct D-rank missions for at least a year, and you will only receive half pay for those missions. The rest of the money will go to Naruto's funds as reparations. Sakura opens her mouth to protest when Tsunade slams her fist on her desk, shutting the pinkette up instantly. You either take the deal, or remain a civilian forever. Sakura thinks it over for a second. I accept, but I protest this treatment. How am I supposed to? Before Sakura can even blink, she is pinned into the wall across the room, Tsunade's hand on her throat, and none too gently. Now listen here, you selfish bitch. Do you have any idea what you have done to Naruto? He opened himself up to you and you treated him like garbage. You are lucky that Naruto is the kind and giving person that he is, because I wouldn't have blamed him for killing you if he had snapped. Do you know the kind of childhood he had? He had nobody. No parents, no friends, no teachers, no family. The closest thing he had was the Sandaime Hokage, but that wasn't much of anything. He is hated and spat on every day. At the tender age of 3, he was kicked out of the orphanage, and 3 times a week he would be beaten within an inch of his life. That went on until last year when he became a shinobi and the mob couldn't hit him anymore. He went hungry, thirsty, had no water to wash himself. Did you even think to ask why? Because if you weren't so wrapped up in yourself, you would see a little boy who is desperate for attention, especially from women. He has more issues that I can count, and you just added half a dozen. So before you start thinking that you don't deserve your punishment, remember this. If it were me, I would have snapped and killed everyone in this town years ago. With that, Tsunade pulls Sakura out of the hole in the wall and threw her into the doors, breaking them. She looks at the destruction that she caused and feels better. Shizen rushes into the room after making sure that Sakura is alive. Tsunade-sama, what did you do? She demands like a mother getting ready to scold her child. Giving her a lesson in reality. Oh, toss this on her when you walk past. I have work to do. Tsunade tosses Sakura's license before turning back to her paperwork, stunning Shizen speechless. Time skip 2 days. Naruto and Jiraiya set out, for the second time on their 3-year training mission, as it was officially deemed. They had stopped by Tsunade's office to tell her they were leaving. They tried to ignore the hole in the wall in the shape of a person, but not very well. When asked, she said that she had dealt with a nuisance, and wouldn't say anything else about it. Nobody missed the satisfied smirk on her face when explaining the state of the wall. The blood results had come back. He had been tested for DNA changes, any known viruses, diseases, or illnesses, and a bloodline screen. All had come back negative. Satisfied that Naruto was in good health, she bade them goodbye and good luck. She told that she would continue to think over the riddle and would message them if she had any ideas. Currently the two are tree hopping, getting further and further away from Konoha. Naruto feels that every step, every foot away from that village, his feels lighter, more cheerful, or as cheerful as one can get while being extremely apathetic. They stop a few hours later in a small village and grab something to eat. Alright Gaki. Kushina and In hammered out a schedule for your training. On day 1 you are going to do a physical workout in the mornings. A 5-mile run, 100 push-ups, sit-ups, and chin-ups in any order you like. While you are doing that, your clones are going to be doing chakra control exercises. Kami knows you need it. Around noon you will break for lunch. At 1, you will create a clone and I will teach it taijutsu and you will learn kenjutsu from Kushina. You are going to spar with Kushina on these days. Around 5, we will break for dinner. Then you will relax for the rest of the night. On day 2 you will have a 5-mile run and 100 kicks with each leg on a log and 100 punches with each arm on the same log. After that you will work on jutsu from the scrolls and working on your fire chakra. After lunch, a clone will continue with kenjutsu and you will be in taijutsu. You will also spar with me and I will teach you and improve your techniques. During all this time, you will have a minimum of 10 clones going through and organizing the libraries into the Uzumaki and Namikaze sections and then into subsections of taijutsu, ninjutsu, fuinjutsu, kenjutsu, and general knowledge. In the ninjutsu sections, you are to divide them further based on element. In the general knowledge, you will do it by subjects such as medicine, math, and history to start. Once that is done, I want your clones to start reading up on fire chakra and fuinjutsu. Once you have the concepts down, I can help you in the more difficult aspects of the arts. I already know you have a very strong wind element, so we can do more exercises on that later once you have better control. Oh, and we will be moving around from place to place every few months. Don't want to stay in one place too long for Akatsuki to catch up or pass up on valuable information. Time skip next day, 5 p.m. Naruto sits around a small campfire, eating his dinner of a few fish. The training grounds were a few miles away from the town that they had eaten at. The grounds were flat with a river with plenty of fish to eat. He lays exhausted from the grueling training. The chakra control exercises weren't bad. Most of it was tree climbing and water walking, but with a few alterations. The tree walking was with his hands with his body completely perpendicular to the tree, requiring him to use chakra to reinforce his abs and back muscles to keep him straight. The water walking was done on his fingertips. Not only does it make him have to concentrate on pushing chakra into 10 different places at once, but the correct amount as well. Naruto had created 100 for each exercise, but had to create 400 just to keep up the amount since they ran out of chakra so fast. His muscles were sore from all the sudden exercises with the strength training and the stances that he is learning. Kushina is a very strict teacher. She doesn't allow an inch of slacking. She would hit the parts of his body that were slouching, in the wrong place, or if he was doing a stance or a grip wrong with a stick she found. If it wasn't for his healing factor, then he would be far worse off with hundreds of bruises from her stick. He had no idea how Jiraiya will train, but he hopes that it isn't so violent. But even if he isn't, it isn't going to be fun. Since clones can't transfer muscle memory or muscle mass, he has to do all the hard parts like holding the stances that the clones learn. Every chop of a sword, every second of holding a stance, every ounce of energy had to come from him, otherwise there would be no point. He finishes his meal in silence, and wanders off to stretch before bed. That was one of the things he learned early on with training. If you stretch right before going to bed and right after getting up after a day of training, that the lactic acid in his muscles wouldn't be so much and reduce the soreness. He crawls into his sleeping bag and the moment his eyes shut, he falls asleep, kunai under his pillow and his sword in his hands. Mindscape. Naruto wakes to a familiar scene. A sewer with about an ankle's worth of water. Even though he has only been here once, he instantly knows who called him here and where this place is. He calmly walks to the Kyuubi's cage, intent on getting answers from him about why he pulled him here. A fuzzball! Wake up! He shouts as he kicks the cage, making it rattle. Out of nowhere, the fox jumps and lands just inches from the cage, teeth bared, tails swirling around dangerously, and growling. Naruto doesn't even blink. Insolent little child. Why are you here? Kyuubi demands. Naruto's eyebrows rise slightly, but otherwise doesn't react. I thought you brought me here. Kyuubi blinks. I did not bring you here. Why would I want to talk to a snotty child like you? In truth, Kyuubi did bring him here, but he doesn't need to know that. Naruto nods and begins to walk off when Kyuubi's voice stops him. You know, since you're down here, I might as well make a proposition. Naruto stops dead in his tracks. What proposition? Kyuubi shrugs. I will let you use my Yuki and learn to control it. Naruto sighs. Having Kyuubi's chakra would help him out in a pinch, but he has a feeling that the fox isn't doing this out of the kindness of his heart if he even had an emotional heart, since he doesn't have a physical heart. A slight side effect from being made of pure Yuki. Naruto turns around and strolls back to the cage. Why do I get the feeling that you aren't doing this out of concern for me? Kyuubi barks out a bit of laughter. Indeed. Why would I give a damn about a puny, insignificant human like yourself? I want you to change this place. I tire of sleeping in water and staring at the same thing for 14 years. And I want to be able to access your senses. I dislike not knowing what is going on. Naruto thinks it over for a second. And why should I help you? The last time I was here, you threatened to kill me and kill my friends. I find it difficult to believe that you won't take advantage of me. Look, kid, it may not seem like it, but I'm not as malevolent as I seem. It wasn't even me who attacked your village, but I had to pay the price for it. And last time, I was pissed. I had just woken up for the first time in 12 years and hadn't remembered why I was here yet. Now Naruto is intrigued. What do you mean by that? Several days before the sealing, I was attacked in my den. They wore black cloaks with red clouds on it. There was a man who smelled of snakes, a man in an orange mask, a fish man with a weird sword, and a man with 5 masks. I was placed under a genjutsu, and lead to a facility where they drained my Yuki and channeled it into a mindless clone of me. They made the clone appear near enough your village to smell the humans and lost control and attacked. I was still linked to the clone since I was supplying the Yuki to make it continue to run. I was able to pull myself to the clone through that link just as the sealing started. I tried to get away, but Shinigami-sama had already been summoned and I got sealed. Naruto listens to the story in silence. Well, the people who attacked you are from Akatsuki. They are after the Bijou for some reason. The snake person is Orochimaru, a former member of Akatsuki. He attacked Konoha a few months ago and killed the Hokage. Well, it is nice to know who they are so I can tear out their throats later. But what about our deal? Assuming I agree, how would I go about giving you access to my senses? You would need to modify the seal a little to allow me more freedom. And before you ask, tell that pervert of a teacher about it and have him do it. But before you go through it, you must improve your body to withstand the extra amounts my Yuki will have on you. The fact that Jiraiya will be helping makes me more at ease. To make sure that you doing pull a fast one on me and to make sure it is done correctly, he thinks to himself. I'm so glad that you trust me, Kyuubi says sarcastically. Naruto's eyes grow slightly. Yes, I can read your thoughts. We are in your mind and I am linked to it whether I like it or not. I'm not all that thrilled to be connected to a teenage mind. Naruto ignores the obvious jab at his age. So what else did you call me down here for? Kyuubi gives him a calculating glare. How long have you known? Naruto shrugs. A few minutes. The only time I've been here was when I literally almost died. So far as I know, only a life-threatening injury can force you to go into your subconscious, and I'm not dying, and after our first meeting, I had no desire to come here again. Kyuubi chuckles at him. It seems you're not as dumb as you seem. So tell me, how much of my chakra is Yoki? My father said that the earlier the sealing, the more the Yuki infuses with the chakra coils. Since you were sealed in me long before I was born, I'm curious. Kyuubi blinks. He was not expecting such questions yet. Roughly half, making your chakra very potent. That is why you have trouble doing ninjutsu. Combine that with your huge reserves, you have worse chakra control than a first-year academy student. Naruto shoots a glare at Kyuubi, who laughs at the attempt. Naruto doesn't like people pointing out his obvious shortcomings. Yeah, and I wonder whose fault that is? Can't even defend yourself. As soon as that came out of his mouth, he regretted it. Kyuubi let out a howl loud enough to make his eardrums rupture. The entire mindscape is shaking, forcing a Naruto to not only to put his hands to his ears but to stumble to a wall to keep upright. After a full minute, Kyuubi stops. Do not forget your place, mortal. While I may not be able to affect your mind, I can affect your body and force enough chakra to send you into a coma for years. Know your place. Naruto looks down at the ground, ashamed of his actions. He needs to get more control over his mouth. I'm sorry. I didn't think before I spoke. You being here is obviously not your fault. I'll try to think before I speak. Kyuubi just settles back down on the ground. After a few minutes of silence, Naruto approaches the cage again. So if I go through with this, how will it affect me? Kyuubi gives him a glare that would make most people shit their pants while deciding to answer or not. The seal would allow more of my yoki to flow faster into your coils as a side effect. Your body would then up the amount of chakra in your coils to keep it at the same ratio. That will force your coils to grow and expand due to more chakra flowing at a time. During that time, you would be in extreme pain while your body adjusts to the yoki and bigger coils. The benefits would seem to vastly outweigh the consequences. He would have more immediate chakra to use, much like how your body stores energy. Your blood stores small deposits of glucose ready for use by the muscles while the fat stores most of the energy. When the body uses up the glucose in the blood, the body then breaks down the fat to gain access to the stored glucose, but it is a delayed process. It works much the same way with chakra coils. He could use more chakra while not requiring as much for ninjutsu means that he has a huge advantage in the ninjutsu department. Also, the bigger coils means that his tenketsu can't be as easily closed by a Byakugan user. The downside is the fact that it would be painful for a while and his chakra control would be even worse than before, so he would have to start from scratch. That wouldn't be a bad thing now, as he is only getting started. The biggest thing would be risking the Kyuubi getting out, but with Jiraiya being in on it, the risk of that is greatly reduced. Naruto looks at the fox. I agree. I guess the first thing to do would be to change this. After a few seconds, Naruto plays around with certain aspects, such as how much water is in the sewer or how much lighting. Nothing major, just enough to get the hang of manipulating the environment. After about a half hour, Naruto attempts to make the change. He concentrates. The next thing the fox and Naruto know, they are standing in the middle of Konoha, only there is nobody around. No noise, no movement, just Naruto and Kyuubi. You know, as glad as I am that it isn't a cage, I would prefer not to be in this accursed village. Even if it is just a fabrication, it brings up memories that I would rather not relive. Naruto actually agrees. So what would you like instead? Kyuubi blinks at Naruto. Well, I would like Miden. It was my home for a century and I feel very comfortable there. Can I? Naruto nods and the scene once more inks away into nothingness, only to reform. Naruto looks around. They are standing in a huge cave. Naruto estimates that the cave is more than 150 feet tall, and at least that wide and 3 times as deep. It is just big enough for Kyuubi to be able to turn around fully. Inside the cave is a small pool in the back that Naruto can only guess is filled by an underground river. Off to one side is a very large amount of hay on which Kyuubi is already laying on, half asleep. Near the entrance is a large pile of bones, an obvious warning to trespassers. Kyuubi is laying on his side, legs completely to the side, all 9 tails resting against the side of the wall. Naruto starts walking towards Kyuubi when he notices something, or the lack of something. You didn't tell me you were female. Kyuubi opens an eye and glares at him. I'm actually neither male nor female since I am the only one of my kind, having reproductive organs wasn't included in the package, though my personality was based off a female fox instead of a male one, so I have tendencies to act like a female, but I can be male if I wish to be. I can use my yoki to grow a set of organs, but that is asking for more trouble than it's worth, as I will have the same side effects of having those organs like heat or raging hormones, or a hard-on in the mornings. Naruto blanches at the info. He wasn't expecting that kind of an answer, but it does make sense. Bees are pure yoki who can use the yoki to solidify into anything they want. If Kyuubi doesn't want reproductive organs or a stomach, she can do that. That also means that Kyuubi must have a human form as well. So I assume that you have a human form as well. Kyuubi rolls, now calling Kyuubi a female from now on, her eyes at him. Of course, you puny human. I enjoy the occasional stroll through towns or in very rare cases to hide and get away from pursuers who I didn't want to fight. I assume since you mentioned it that you want to see it. Naruto nods. He didn't originally think about it, but he would be lying if he said he wasn't curious a tiny bit. Whatever. I'm changing right now. I don't feel like it. If that is all you asked for, then please leave so I can sleep. Come back in 2 weeks so I can see if you are ready to handle my yoki. Naruto left without another word. Kyubi lets out a content sigh and snuggles deeper into her bed and falls asleep instantly. It even smells the same, which brings her a lot of comfort and a sense of normality. Konoha no Sato. Bull, an umbu for Tsunade, moves on top of the roofs as fast as he can go. He is currently on his way to the Hokage Tower. He had been trailing Danzo, trying to get a fix on the root base. He had found it, and immediately went to inform the Hokage, but something told him to stay for a second. A few patrolling root umbu stopped about 10 feet from his hiding spot. The Hokage umbu was suppressing his chakra signature as much as he can, even a minor slip-up in concentration could alert someone to his presence. Bo pulls out a small mirror and uses it to look around the corner. The two root umbus suddenly stand to attention and bow. Danzo-sama. How can we be of sacrifice today? One says in a monotone voice. Get a squad and put the base on lockdown. We are leaving Konoha. The other clans and the Hokage are going to attack once they figure out where we are located. My spies in the Hyuga and Abrame clans alert me that they have a tracking unit on me. I managed to lose them before coming here. Have the base be packed up and ready to leave in 6 hours. Until then the base will be on the highest alert. The two roots snap to attention before disappearing. Bull then gets the hell out of the base before he is unable to do so or is discovered. This brings us back to him running along the roofs. Not bothering with climbing the inside, he jumps onto the window ledge and knocks very vigorously on the glass. Tsunade whips around and glares at him, but softens once she realizes that it is not Jiraiya and it must be an emergency. She opens the glass and allows the umbu in. Report. Hi. I have found the root base, but they are preparing to leave Konoha. I listened in on Danzo giving orders and he let it slip that his spies in the Hyuga and Abrame clans informed him of his warrant. They will be gone in just under 5 hours now. Tsunade frowns. She hadn't planned on Danzo finding out, but the fact that they have the element of surprise on them gives them an advantage. Where is the base located? Bull responds by pulling a map out of his pockets. The map is a blown-up part of the city. On it, Bull has sketched a tentative layout of the base that he was able to scout. District 5, Section 17, Sector 56. It is a series of tunnels leading into a main chamber and several smaller rooms from what I could tell. Her frown deepens. District 5 is the south section. District 1 is the center of town and 2 through 5 are the directions on a compass. The sector mentioned just happens to be the closest one to the massive wall, meaning that the base most likely extends deep into the forest to avoid detection. Summon the umbu captains, Jonin team captains, and the clan heads and only the clan heads. Make it discreet as we don't want to tip our hand. Hi, Bull says before disappearing out the window. Tsunade smirks. The hunt begins. Time skip 3 weeks later, village inside Hai no Kuni. Naruto doubles over, panting with sweat dripping from his face. He grits his teeth and forces his bruised body to stand straight, despite the severe beating he is getting. He is sparring with Jiraiya and right now, he is losing very badly. While he has come a long way in the last few weeks, he is nowhere near Sannin level. He has chakra weights on as well as a resistance seal, making his limbs not only much heavier but making it harder to move, resulting in the toning of his body and a massive increase in speed. His chakra control skyrocketed with all the constant exercises he has been doing. 2 weeks in, he upgraded to kunai balancing. But not just kunai balancing, these kunai had a special weight seals inscribed on them. Jiraiya would make clones of his own and randomly add or take away chakra to each seal or multiple seals at the same time, making it very difficult to keep the right amount. The result is his reflexes in using chakra as well as being able to control chakra outside his body to grow immensely. His kenjutsu is also going well. Since the concept of using a sword is completely foreign to him, this particular skill set is taking the longest to adapt to. But through sheer mind-numbing repetitions, he is progressing at a steady rate. Hey, pay attention! Wall was all Naruto could get out before he starts flying on the Jiraiya's foot in Face Express. A red imprint of Jiraiya's foot appears on Naruto's face as he flies back, spit trailing in the air. He hits the ground after 20 feet or so and slides to a stop. I told you to stop daydreaming in the middle of a spar. Idiot. Oh yeah, that's something new too. Ever since Jiraiya altered the seal, that was fun to explain and convince Jiraiya to do it. It had some unexpected results, one being that Kyubi now can talk to him without having to go into the mindscape. Another is that his healing factor increased dramatically, allowing him to have a full workout every day and allowing his muscles to heal after tearing and the lactic acid to not build up as much. Naruto lies on the ground, waiting for his healing factor to make it possible to sit up. Jiraiya calmly walks over to Naruto and leans over him, blocking out the sun. Hey Gaki, you need to stop spacing out. It could be hazardous to your health. Naruto just groans. Great. First fuzzball here, now you. Jiraiya chuckles and helps Naruto to his feet. Well now, then you have some pretty good advice and I suggest you listen to it if you don't want to end up with injuries that take a few minutes to heal. Naruto is about to make a remark when he suddenly stops. It seems my clones are done cataloging all the scrolls. You just now finished that? Jiraiya asks blankly. A tick mark appears on Naruto's head. You try sorting through thousands of scrolls to see how long it takes you. And besides, I had to create my own storage seals, so I had to learn how to do that first. Jiraiya shakes his head clear. Whatever. How is your elemental chakra coming? Naruto sighs. While I can manipulate fire, I can't seem to use fire chakra. The only thing I can guess is that these tombs just give you the availability to manipulate the raw element, not use the elemental chakra that creates it. I will have to wait for the Rinnegan first before I can create fire. That is if we ever break that damn riddle. They set aside a few minutes each day thinking about it, but not too hard. They are in no hurry as it is less than a month in on a 3-year trip. Jiraiya nods in agreement. They begin to walk back to the campsite when Jiraiya turns to Naruto when a falcon lands on Jiraiya's shoulder. He reads the message the falcon is carrying before burning it and sending the falcon back. That was from Tsunade. Apparently Sasuke is with Orochimaru. On the way to being sealed, he somehow broke free and with Kabuto and a few Oto ninjas, they fled and the retrieval team was unsuccessful. Naruto just shrugs. Oh well. Looks I may get to repay him for those holes he put in my chest. Jiraiya looks at Naruto with sympathy. No kid should have to talk like that, especially not with his apathetic tone, like it is an everyday occurrence that he gets stabbed in the back. Hey Gaki, at the end of this week we will be moving on. I think our next destination will be Suna. They can teach you mind manipulation better than me and the physical training will be intensive as well as learning to cope with that kind of environment. When we get there we will also devise a new training schedule. Naruto groans. That just means more pain of his muscles tearing and dehydra. A light bulb goes off in his head. He stops walking, making Jiraiya look at him with a curious expression. Gaki? Naruto? He repeats after not getting a response from the first one. Naruto walks up to Jiraiya. I think I figured it out. So it means. Time skip 3 years. Naruto jumps along the trees, grumbling about his current mission. While Tsunade never said that she wouldn't send him on a mission like this before he left, he got the sense that she wouldn't. Nonetheless, he isn't happy about it, but complies because of the mission parameters. Flashback 1 month, Hokage office. You want me to do what? Naruto says, showing more emotion in those 2 words in the entire 3 years he was away. Tsunade gives him a look that could kill. You heard me. Sasori gave up the time and location to meet one of his spies within Orochimaru's organization. You are going. It's not the mission I'm complaining about. It's the company. Tsunade sighs. The Gaara rescue team had just returned. She had sent Kakashi, Naruto, Guy, Kurenai, Anko, and Asuma to save Gaara. They had just made it there just before the Ichibi was extracted, saving Gaara's life then fending off Akatsuki. The result is Sasori is dead and Deidara is severely injured from a missing arm thanks to Asuma and his trench knives. Team 7 is assigned to the mission, but since Kakashi is having a problem with his Sharingan, an Umbu member will take his place. Naruto has no desire to see the girl who caused him so many problems. I know you don't want to go, but your job is just to shadow and provide backup if things get out of hand. And even if they do, with your mask nobody will recognize you. Once you obtain the information, return with Team 7 for debriefing. She does have a point. Nobody will recognize me, and with my several growth spurts thanks to the foxes and my techniques that technically don't exist anymore, things will be tolerable. Fine, but you owe me. Naruto looks out her window over the hell of a village that he somehow still wants to protect. Tsunade smiles. Good. You leave in 1 week. Just stick to the shadows and hopefully you will not have to make yourself known. But Murphy's Law always bites the ass at the worst possible times. End flashback. Naruto feels the group ahead stop. Behind his Umbu mask, he channels chakra into his eyes, enhancing his vision. Since his induction into Umbu upon returning to Konoha almost 2 months ago, he wears the standard Umbu gear, but with his divine sword strapped to his waist. His mask is that of an owl. He wanted a fox, but Tsunade thought that was too obvious. Underneath that, though, he still has on his clan armor that he always wears wherever he goes, even if he is in Konoha. Team 7 stops at a very long bridge to discuss what is going to happen. Using his chakra-enhanced senses, he listens in on the briefing. So Tenzo or Yamato is going to create a wooden puppet and masquerade as Sasori and hopefully get the information. Team 7 replaced him with a kid named Sai, an ex-member of Root. He was captured during the raid, but unfortunately, Danzo himself got away by sacrificing all of his Root members to stall and give him time to get away. The seal on his tongue was removed, allowing him free speech, and his emotionless facade is starting to come down. The other new member is someone who graduated a year after them. His name is Fugaki Hidotake, Fujiki Hitataka. He replaces Sasuke on the team. He is from a civilian home and is more like Rock Lee, being a halfway genius of hard work. An hour later, Naruto is watching over the mixture of Genin and Shunin, waiting for something to happen. Then a person starts across the bridge and stops in the middle of it. Naruto narrows his eyes at the person he recognizes as Kabuto. Yamato waits about 10 minutes before going out in his disguise. Naruto can barely make out the conversation over the long distance, but he hears it in case something happens to Yamato, and is unable to retell the information. That's when the shit hits the fan. The snake bastard himself appears and Yamato gets the top of his puppet slashed off by a chakra scalpel. Almost instantly, the lower-ranked team members run to Yamato to back him up. Naruto curses. This isn't going to end well. None of them are going to be able to even hold off Orochimaru, making Naruto break his cover. Naruto disappears in a shunshin and appears between the two groups, surprising the Konoha team. "Who are you?" Yamato asks cautiously. "I am Owl, Kanahigakurambu," Naruto replies. "Owl, I've never heard of Owl," comments Yamato. "I am a new addition. Hokage-sama sent me as backup in case things got out of hand. I will hold them off, retreat across the bridge," Naruto says in his monotone voice of the past 3 years. "What? You can't fight against a Sannin by yourself. You'll get yourself killed," yells Sakura. Naruto tries not to wince at her scream, but isn't successful. "Please do as I ask. I am the only one here capable of doing this," Naruto says as he frees his hands. He flies through a few hand signs. Anetsusiai, Enko no Ryujin. Thermal release, Flames of the Dragon King. A white flame shoots out of his mouth at astounding speeds. It covers the entire width of the 20 feet that make up the width of the bridge and 4 times as long. This flame forces Kabuto and Orochimaru to shunshin back to the end of the bridge. Naruto is about to follow them when Yamato puts a hand on his shoulder. "I will go with you. As an Umbu myself, I am curious to know what you can do. I also want to help you so you don't have to fight a 2-on-1. Naruto rolls it over in his head for a while. "Alright, Tenzo, but Orochimaru is mine as I am the closest to him in abilities if not equal." Naruto jumps off after them while Yamato tells Team 7 to stay on the far side of the bridge before jumping after Owl. Owl runs through some hand signs, not that he needs to, but to hide his true abilities, and channels his chakra. Futon, Kami Oroshur. Wind release, Godly Wind from the Mountain. A blast of wind pummels Orochimaru and Kabuto, but it is far stronger than either anticipated and both are flung back with Naruto chasing the snake himself. Orochimaru hits the ground and regains his composure and feels someone heading towards him. He recognizes it as the Umbu and he obviously is no ordinary shinobi to use a sub-element like that and does a few hand signs. Kuchios no Jutsu. Summoning Technique. A 10-story purple snake appears with Orochimaru on his head. You better have my sacrifices or I'm leaving," Manda hisses. Just then Naruto enters the clearing created by Manda. Naruto takes one look at the boss summons and knows that to fight both of them at the same time is pressing his luck, so he decides to level the playing field. He pulls back his sleeve, revealing the upper part of the gauntlet, and smears blood from his recently bit thumb on a seal. "Kuchios no Jutsu," he says. An enormous puff of smoke reveals a dragon about 3/4 the size of Manda. Its scales are pale blue with 4 legs and large leathery wings protruding from its back. Think Western-style dragon, not an Asian. Naruto stands on its head, staring down Orochimaru. "For what purpose have I been summoned?" booms the dragon. "I thought you might like a snack, Hitomi-sama." That's Manda, the snake boss summons. And on top of him is Orochimaru, biggest pedophile in the elemental nations. Oh, did I mention that he likes male children? Now Hitomi is a mother of several generations, meaning that motherly instincts are very strong. This gets her blood boiling. Smoke unconsciously pours from her snout as she bares her fangs at the duo. Come, hatchling. We have someone to kill! She beats her wings with tremendous force, and they become airborne. She takes a diving swipe at Orochimaru. Manda, not wanting to die, moves out of the way. He hisses angrily at Orochimaru. What the hell? You summoned me to a fight with the Dragon Clan? I will require 200 more sacrifices for this and pray that I don't kill you myself. Meanwhile, Hitomi is circling around for another strafe. Hitomi-sama, give me some fire. With pleasure. Hitomi takes in a deep breath and breathes out a flood of fire, much larger than any human can ever hope of making. Not bothering with the hand signs this time, Naruto channels his chakra. Futon, Astagai. Wind release, pressure damage. A huge tornado erupts right in front of Flames, turning it from a tornado to a fire cyclone as Naruto directs the attack right at Manda and Orochimaru. After a full minute of the attack, Hitomi and Naruto let the attack die down. Where the cyclone was is just a large patch of burnt and charred land. Hitomi lands on the ground and Naruto hops off. As soon as Naruto touches the ground, Manda bursts from the ground and coils himself around Hitomi. She lets out a roar and Manda sinks his teeth into her from an angle that her scales don't protect from. Naruto watches in horror as she shakes Manda off, but the damage had already been done. Hitomi-sama! Naruto shouts. Kukukuku. Did you really think that it would be so easy to beat me? Naruto turns to see Orochimaru walking calmly towards him. Another roar out of Hitomi forces Naruto to look back. Somehow Hitomi had turned in Manda's vice grip and is proceeding to scratch, burn, and bite at Manda's head. Manda rears back and bites her neck. In a giant puff of smoke, she disappears. It seems that your boss summons is not as powerful as mine. Naruto smirk. Hitomi isn't the boss summons. I just summoned her because she hates perverts and especially pedophiles. I just hope she is okay. Let's see how you fare against Hiromi. Naruto bites his thumb again and smears it again on the seal. Kuchiyos no Jutsu. This time when the smoke clears, a dragon 2 stories taller than Manda appears. Naruto, even on top of the colossal beast, can see Orochimaru's eyes bug out. Hiromi has the same style body as Hitomi, only she is solid gold with wings that could span across half of Konoha. Her fierce amethyst eyes glare at Manda. Her snout is long and has several sharp spikes underneath her chin. Naruto-sama, am I to assume that these are the people that injured Hitomi? A feminine voice says softly as to not make Naruto deaf. Yeah. How is she, by the way? She is in intensive care. We managed to get most of the poison out of her system, but she won't be able to move for a while. Naruto lets out a sigh of relief. That's good. Now if you take care of Manda over there, I can handle Orochi team. Very well, Naruto-sama. When this is over, make sure to summon me later. We have something to discuss. Naruto rubs her head between the scales in acknowledgement before sliding down her to reach a safe height to jump to the ground. As soon as Naruto is on the ground, Hiromi speeds off after Manda. Naruto walks slowly towards Orochimaru, who just recovered from his stupor. What kind of summon was that? I created a seal that stores my excess chakra and uses it for summoning. It is like a regular summons, but I don't use chakra and I always appear on top of the bigger summons. Orochimaru smirks. After he kills the Sambu, he will steal the seal and use it for his own means. In the meantime, Orochimaru flashes though a dozen hand signs. Mandara no Jin. Myriad snake net formation. Hundreds of snakes pour from Orochimaru's mouth and rush forward. As they move, they multiply exponentially, creating thousands of snakes, literally creating a wall of snakes, each with their own Kusanagi blades extended. They get within 20 feet of Naruto before he channels his chakra. Anatsusiai, High Note no Yomi. Thermal release, flames of the underworld. Fire spews forth out of Naruto's mouth and go about 10 feet, but instead of rushing forward, it stops and expands to the sides, producing a wall of white-hot flames 40 feet wide and as tall. The snakes are instantly incinerated, not even leaving any ash. The wall doesn't fade though. Hidden behind the wall, Naruto channels more chakra. Anatsusiai, Maki no Kenba. Thermal release, Hounds of Hell. Nothing appears to happen, but Naruto continues as if nothing is wrong. He claps and proclaims. Futon de Tapa. Wind release, Great breakthrough. The flames shoot forward at high speeds with the wind backing it. The effect is a very widespread attack. Orochimaru is forced to use a chakra-enhanced jump up to avoid the flames, playing right into Naruto's plan. As the flames pass underneath him, for large dogs made of white-hot fire jump after him. One swipes at him, forcing him to use kawarimi with an unburned log. Right as he lands, he is attacked by the other three. They swipe and lunge and bite at Orochimaru, making it very difficult to counterattack. Eventually he becomes fed up. Sword of Kusanagi. A blade shoots out of his mouth and impales one of the firehounds, but it doesn't dispel, only making Kusanagi very hot. Narrowing his eyes, he spins the sword very quickly, forcing a very strong current of air that makes the hound explode outwards. 1 down, 3 to go. As the hounds continue to attack relentlessly, Naruto sits close by and watches. One hound gets in a lucky swipe, only to see Orochimaru turn to mud, via kawarimi with a mud clone. As the hounds hone in on Orochimaru's scent, 3 snakes shoot out of the ground and wrap themselves around the hounds. This is only for a second as the snakes are incinerated, but that is all Orochimaru need. Futon de Tapa. A fierce wind screeches around the clearing and the trees right at the hounds. As the wind hit them, it is so great that it snuffs out the fires in seconds. Naruto then sees Orochimaru walk into the clearing, breathing heavily. Damn, that was close. I haven't had to fight like this in years, he breathes before he sets his eyes on Naruto. Who are you? Naruto looks at him behind his mask. Someone you shouldn't cross. As that exact second, Manda slams down into the ground, creating a huge impact crater. Not a second later, Hiromi slams down on top of him, creating an even bigger crater. As the smoke clears, Hiromi is seen with one of her massive front legs pinning Manda down, her jaws very close to the soft spot right behind his head. He is covered in scratches and cuts and burn marks. Manda looks at Orochimaru with hate in his eyes. Don't you dare summon me again or I will kill you, before he vanishes in a puff of smoke. Hiromi turns to Orochimaru and growls, her head low to the ground, prepared to pounce. She lets out a very deep and low growl that makes the earth tremble. I suggest you retreat, Orochi team, or you won't leave this clearing alive, Naruto says impassively behind his mask as he walks up beside Hiromi. He places a hand on Hiromi's neck, just behind her head. Orochimaru may be mad with power lust, but he isn't stupid. He knows when he is outmatched. I won't forget this. Your days are numbered, he hisses out, clearly pissed before Shunshin's away. Naruto walks in front of Hiromi and scratches her nose. Thanks for the help. I would have had a hard time taking both of them by myself. Hiromi lays her head on the ground, allowing him to continue his scratching, as it is the closest she can get to looking him in the eyes at his level. No problem. That's what I'm here for. I must say that I enjoy turning that snake into a wallet. I'll make one for Hitomi. She raises her tail and shows a large piece of snake skin laying on it as a trophy. Right, well, I'm off. No telling how much time the mission will take before I get back to somewhere I can summon you. I'll see you later, Hiromi-sama, he says with a low bow. Take care of yourself. With that, she disappears back to the summons realm, visiting Hitomi to give her the snake skin. He walks back to the bridge and finds Yamato being treated by Sakura. Fugaki is standing guard and Sai is sitting with his legs dangling over the side drawing. To an outsider, it may seem like he isn't paying attention, but his body language is saying differently. What's his diagnosis? Naruto asks. Several cut muscles and tendons, a concussion, and severe chakra exhaustion. What happens now? She looks to Naruto. Naruto sighs. Well, the mission is a failure. We didn't get any new information out of Kabuto before Orochimaru showed up. Though I can't help feeling that this was a setup to kill Sasori to begin with, so there probably wasn't much to learn anyways. We will head back to Konoha and report to Tsunade-sama. Is Yamato stable to move? Sakura hesitates. I don't know. My medical knowledge is average at best. Then we will err on the side of caution. Do what you can. We will rest here until tomorrow before moving out. I will message ahead and let Tsunade-sama know of our status. With that, he summons a small dragon about the length of his arm. The dragon is very long and has no legs and a flat snout. It is a conglomerate of colors from red to orange to yellow. How can I help you? It squeaks. I need you to deliver this message to Tsunade-sama in the Hokage Tower in Konohagakure. Return if she has a reply, but if not, then you can go home, young one, he says before handing the small dragon a scroll. Sure thing, Na. Naruto quickly places a hand over the dragon's mouth. While I'm wearing this mask, please call me Owl, he says calmly. Sure thing, Owl-sama. I'll take your message as quick as I can. The dragon flies off at a high speed that didn't seem possible for something so small. The whole time, the 3 conscious members of Team 7 were watching the interaction. Sakura gets curious about the identity of the owl-masked Umbu, but decides to ask about it later. Time skip 1 week. Naruto leads Team 7 into the village, not bothering to stop at the check-in at the gate, seeing how Umbu don't get questioned. They took Yamato to the hospital first, and Naruto alone went to report to Tsunade. After a thorough debriefing, Tsunade sent him off. He instantly shuns to his apartment. He arrives and takes off his Umbu mask. Although he has been back for a few months, he doesn't go anywhere without some kind of mask on, as he doesn't want people to know he is back. It's more of the fact he doesn't want to talk to people than he doesn't want people to know he is back. He walks back to his room and opens the door, only to find someone already there, in his bed. "Kyubi, you have your own room," he states. Although she is pretending to be asleep, he sees the slight frown on her face. He rips the blanket off and sees her completely naked, but he isn't fazed by this. She walks around most of the time like that around him, so he is used to it. She has red eyes with matching hair, nails, and landing strip. He didn't want to know the last part, but with her naked most of the time, it was only a matter of time. She has very long, slim legs and delicate skin. "But Foxy-kun, I like yours," she whines. Ever since he and Jiraiya found a way to release her safely a year and a half ago, she has been trying to get him to sleep with her for an unknown reason. Mostly she stays in the city, but Naruto left some of the seal intact, enabling her to go inside Naruto's body whenever she feels like. It is also a way for her to go on missions with him, as she is not a citizen or a shinobi of Konoha. In order to unseal her, Naruto had to reduce the seal, little by little. Once a week, he would weaken the seal, and each time a flood of yoki would come out, forcing him to be pained the entire week as his body adjusts to producing more and more chakra and expanding his coils to match. This went on for months. After 4 months of having absolutely no chakra control, he finally ripped the seal apart, allowing her to come out. At the end of it, Naruto has as much raw chakra as the Nibi. It took him a full 3 months and tens of thousands of shadow clones to have control of his reserves. Even now he doesn't have full control, but with an almost never-ending supply, that really isn't much of a problem. His chakra coils hold as much as a normal jonin has total. Not even a Hyuga can close his tenketsu. One of the most interesting things though is that after Kyubi was free of the seal, Naruto's body began producing yoki her absence in the same quantities to keep the ratio right. Kyubi then explained how because he was only a few months along as a fetus, the sealing forced a genetic change, making Naruto a half-demon. It was only until now that Kyubi is no longer providing the yoki that his body made use of the genetic changes. He would stop aging at 21 and can use yoki without recourse. Of course, not all the changes were because he is half-demon. Because of the malnutrition on his early years, his growth was stunted. Kyubi rectified this by forcing Naruto's body through months of constant growth to make up for lost time. He is now 16 and 6 feet 2 inches. Naruto folds the comforter and starts to take off his Umbu gear. Kyubi, seeing him completely ignore her, frowns even more. She sits up and hugs him from behind, her massive assets pushing into his back. "Come on, Foxy. Why won't you pay attention to me? I've tried everything I can think of. Is there no way to break you out of your shell?" Not once has Naruto broken or even talked much about himself, though not from lack of trying. Twice a week she would pull Naruto into his mind and try to get him to talk to him, but that wouldn't work. Kushina would try to get to know him, but he mostly ignored her outside of training. Jiraiya had tried the hardest. He tried physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion, emotional stimulation, everything he can think of, and nothing worked. "Please get dressed." Naruto pulled out of her grip and undressed and got in the shower. Kyubi stands there, not moving from her spot. A single tear rolls down her face. "I'm sorry, Naruto. It's because of my presence that you are so hurt. I swear I'll get that pink bitch back for making you like this." Just then an Umbu knocks at the front door. He storms in without it being let in and goes right to Naruto's room. Kyubi had just enough time to use her yoki to make herself decent before the horse Umbu appears in his room. He turns to Kyubi. "Uzumaki Naruto is summoned immediately to the council chambers. I am to escort him there now, even if I have to drag him," he says to her with a condescending voice. The Umbu tries to make his way past her to drag Naruto out of the shower when Kyubi grabs his hand in a vice grip. "Thank you, but we can get there on our own. Now leave before I make you." Horse just scoffs and tries to get out of her grip, but Kyubi doesn't let go. "You will let me proceed with my mission or suffer the consequences." When she doesn't let go, he winds up to strike her when she increases the force on her grip, forcing him to the ground. He looks to her eyes and sees them burning with rage. "As I told you before, we know where it is." She hoists him up and walks to the door and kicks him out into the street, and just lies there, unmoving. It isn't the force of the impact with the concrete that made him pass out, it was the kick to the balls with Tsunade-like strength that made him succumb to unconsciousness. She walks back to Naruto's room to see him dressed in a gray hoodie, gauntlets, greaves, and umbu pants. What was that about? He had heard someone in his bedroom, and then Kyubi speak. We have been summoned to the advisory board. The umbu was about to drag you out of the shower to bring you to the council chambers. I stopped him, and he is now nowhere able to perform his job. Naruto gets a bad feeling about the condition of the umbu that Kyubi left him in, but lets it go. Kyubi disappears into the seal and Naruto walks out of his apartment, this time a blank umbu mask on, and sees the umbu still lying on the concrete. Naruto walks over to him and lifts his mask. On the inside, and Naruto sees something. He goes over and examines the man before picking up the man and carrying him over his shoulder to the council room. When Naruto walks in, he sees the advisory board all looking at him with the umbu over his shoulder. He tosses the mask to the clan heads after dumping the unconscious man unceremoniously onto the floor near an umbu. It appears that Danzo is not yet done with Konoha. The board looks concerned about this. They pass around the mask and find the kanji for root inscribed on the inside. He also has a seal on his tongue. If that doesn't prove he is a root, then I don't know what will, Naruto informs the board. He knows about the council purges, as they are called by the shinobi, and knows that Danzo is now a B-rank missing nin. We will deal with this another time. Umbu, take him to Ibiki and have him begin the standard seal breaking that Jiraiya made. Oh, and make sure to search for cyanide capsules. Ibiki then has my authority to find out whatever he can by any means necessary. The umbu salutes and disappears in a shunshin with the root spy. Tsunade then turns to Naruto. Now Naruto, I do believe that you have some inheritance for me to give you still. Here are the keys to the Namake's estate. I have unlocked your clan accounts so those are available for use. The board will also like to know your abilities so we may plan on later events. You have the option of not telling though, as I won't force you. Naruto takes the keys and pockets them and turns to the board. He takes off the mask. The board all take a collective breath. You have the Rinnegan? Choza asks. Naruto nods. How do you possess such a bloodline? We don't know enough about it for us to know. Naruto shakes his head. This is going to take a long time to explain. After finishing telling the Uzumaki history up to the sage and how the Uchiha have the Sharingan, he becomes silent. He left out the tombs and the fact that he can gain the Sharingan, but nobody needs to know about that. I won't tell you what I can do, as no ninja reveals what they can do unless they have to. Sorry, but even as heads of the clans, you hide what exactly you can do, so I don't see why I should reveal what I can do. For now, just know that I have an affinity with all elements and gravity. Well, have you gained control over the Kyubi at all? Shikaku asks, hoping to get something out of him besides the textbook answer that all of them knew he had. It's interesting you should ask. Actually, Kyubi isn't linked to me anymore, but she prefers to stay with me for whatever reason. As such, I no longer have access to her yoki. But before I head up to Four Tails. A poof of smoke, and standing next to Naruto is a waist-high red fox with 9 swirling tails. The entire board jumps back and prepares to fight. Kyubi chuckles at the board's reactions. And what can you do against me mortals? The board is about to jump Kyubi when Tsunade slams a hand on the table, getting everyone's attention. I can assure you that if Kyubi wanted us dead, we would be a long time ago. She has been out for over a year. She holds this village in contempt, but the only things keeping her from destroying this village is Naruto, so be glad he likes this city for some reason. Yes, and you should be very happy that I'm letting this shit village continue after seeing what this village did you a child. No Bijou would ever subject someone to that much mental, physical, or emotional trauma. I'm even amazed that Naruto isn't even more messed up than he already is. One clan head is about to speak up when Tsunade cuts him off. He already has had a full physiological evaluation, like all shinobi do every 6 months, is deemed fit for duty. How I don't know, but I had our best counselor do his evaluation. Even now he has sessions and will probably continue to see a counselor for the rest of his life. With that, Naruto, you may leave. We still have some budget items to go over. Naruto nods his head and leaves after Kyubi poofs back into Naruto. Right before he exits, Kyubi reappears beside him in her human form. As much as she would like to scare the shit out of the villagers, it would only cause more problems. Naruto leads the way, not even registering Kyubi beside him. He leads the way to the Namake's compound. He has been by there a few times after he got back just to see what it looks like, but unable to get inside. He opens the gate with a click and a seal appeared. Recognizing it, he rubs some blood on it, and the gate swings open. Naruto and Kyubi looks at the huge compound. By the gate is a map and Naruto takes a look. The compound has a dozen fairly large houses, 2 hot springs, one for women along with a matching one for men on the opposite side of the compound, and a mixed spring. The 2 separate genders is counted as 1, 2 dojo, a market, 3 outdoor training grounds, a recreation center, and a clan center. The clan center is where the current head of the clan resides with her family, and is the largest building in the compound. This is also where the clan offices are located. It has 3 stories. The first floor being for clan business, offices and storages spaces to run the clan on the first floor. The second is for clan meetings and discussions as well as the clan head's personal study. The third floor is reserved for the clan head's family. Naruto had only been inside the clan center, but got no further than the first floor due to the seals. Now that he has the keys, he has access to all the buildings, floors, and doors. Today is for exploring. He didn't have anything else to do today, so he is free to do so. It's very big. Naruto rolls his eyes at the innuendo. Why did you come? You know it is dangerous for people to see you. Kyubi pouts cutely. Does Naruto not want me around? She pauses for effect. Seeing no reaction, she sighs. I am damn determined to break you out of this funk you're in. If that means that I spend every minute of the day beside you, then I will. Even if it means sharing my bed with you, I'll do it. Nobody deserves what happened to you, and you won't be happy with someone unless you get out of the state you're in, so buck up or get used to it. She doesn't say it, but she hopes that it is with her. Over the years, even before she met Naruto face to face, she was watching his memories, and she respects him a great deal. The amount of fortitude and resilience he possesses is beyond comprehension. She would have snapped long ago, but Naruto held it in and gave everyone a smile and a joke, hoping to take others' sadness away, even at the cost of his own. He is everything she sees a mate should be and more. But first she has to pry him loose of his apathy. Naruto, not knowing the thoughts going on in her mind, just shrugs and continues to explore. He covers the entire compound, every home, none are even relatively similar in shape and design, all the offices. The only place he didn't go is the 3rd floor of the clan center. He had his hand on the doorknob, but unable to turn it and take that final step. Kyubi wanted to go to him, but in his current state, he wouldn't accept her nor would she be welcome. This is something he has to do. They leave the compound and go home. Naruto undresses and doesn't bother with dinner and goes straight to bed. Kyubi sits against his door and leans her head against it, deep in thought. Sometime later, she hears a something. It is so soft that she almost didn't hear it. A sniffle. More come now as Naruto tries to stem the flow of tears for what he could have had, but instead had his childhood taken away. Kyubi's heart sinks and wishes she could comfort him, hold him, let him know that it's going to be okay. It breaks her heart to see such pain and sorrow in someone so young. Sure, she has seen things worse than what Naruto has gone through, but never has she seen such malice and hatred directed toward a child before. Kyubi listens to him cry and sheds silent tears for him and eventually falls asleep against the door, tear stains visible on her flawless skin. Time skip 2 days. Naruto stands in the middle of Tsunade's office, waiting to see if she approves of his next mission. It is a mission to Kirigakure to activate the next sequence of tombs, the Tomb of the Protector. He had just deciphered the message from the last tomb they activated. Tsunade is mulling over letting him go by himself or with a team and having to explain to the new people about him. Naruto recalls the tomb of the warrior in Suna that unlocked his Rinnegan. Flashback 2 years. Jiraiya and Naruto approach the gates of Suna, having just finished trekking across the desert with very little stops. They is immediately accosted by 2 Chunin at the gate, the leader thinking he should show off to his newly instated guard next to him who happens to be obscenely hot. Halt! Present your IDs or else, he demands. Naruto, not really in the happiest of moods from the early stages of dehydration, growls at the attitude of the upstart Chunin. Said Chunin hears the growl, but keeps up his tough guy charade, clearly not knowing that not only is Jiraiya a Sannin and way out of his league but that Naruto is a personal friend of the Kazekage. Yeah, and what are you going to do about it, hairpiece? Naruto shoots back. The leader stared blankly at him. He turns red from rage and embarrassment from the jab. He happens to be an older and due to genetics, started losing his hair at an early age and is forced to wear a toupee to cover up his chronic baldness. Now the hottie beside knows it, reducing her opinion of him. Seeing her commander starting to lose his temper, the new Chunin timidly approaches him. Tenzo-senpai, maybe we should just be nice. Now that the old man has her poking at him to let it go, he can't unless he wants to be made a fool of. Glaring at Naruto, he gets directly in his path. Papers or else. Naruto's eyebrow twitches. Moving faster than the Chunin can see, Naruto spins the man around before forming a tiger hand sign. The new Chunin recognizes it and starts to move forward. Watch out, senpai! She shouts, but too late. Konoha hidden secret taijutsu technique, 1000 years of death. Naruto plunges his 2 index fingers deep into the man's rectum, making him shoot off at tremendous speeds. Everyone there is shell-shocked that Naruto would use such a technique. This is the scene that Gaara arrives to. It seems that you cause trouble wherever you go. It's good to see you, Naruto. Naruto walks over and takes his ha-wham. Flashback end. Naruto groans as he reverts back to reality, as he slowly gets off the floor with much effort on his part. The chair that was used as a flying projectile lies smashed in a few pieces a few feet from his head and a giant lump on his head, indicating just how hard she threw it. The chair was solid wood, one piece, not a speck of glue on it. Don't go into random flashbacks when I'm talking to you, Tsunade yells. Naruto holds his head as he lifts himself off the floor. He sways dangerously and has to hold onto the back of a chair to keep his balance. What were you saying now? Tsunade growls, but continues where she left off. You can go to Kirigakure, but you will have a slug with you at all times in case something happens. And take Kyubi with you. I know she goes where she wants now, but since you won't have any backup and I can't assign a guard, she is the best bet to keep you safe. Also, Mizuno Kuni is in the middle of a civil war, a fight between the bloodline clans and the Mizukage who wants to exterminate them. You will not participate in helping either. It will strictly be defensive rules of engagement. Is that clear? Naruto nods his head. If he, a Konoha ninja, were to engage in a battle with the current Mizukage and the rebels are defeated, it will spell very serious consequences for Konoha. If he were to side with the Mizukage, then Konoha could be caught up in the political nightmare that the bloodline purges are. What? I didn't hear you, Tsunade presses, talking no chance that he doesn't understand her words. Yes, I understand, Tsunade-sama. How long do I have to complete the mission and what will my cover be? You have 1.5 months to complete the mission and an additional 2 months for travel as it takes 3 weeks to sail to Kiri no Kuni. As for your cover, you will be going under the guise that Konoha is looking for an alliance, and you are there to see if Kiri is what we are looking for. This should make it so you can look around without people getting suspicious. Any questions? He shakes his head. I'll leave within the hour. Naruto turns to the door. Naruto. He turns to look at Tsunade. Be careful. Naruto nods and disappears. Tsunade turns to look out the windows that overlook the village. What will it take to break you out of that mask? Border of Hai no Kuni. Kuchios no Jutsu. A small puff of smoke appears before Naruto. He blinks. He was expecting an enormous amount of smoke that boss summons usually produce because of their size. When the smoke clears, a woman stands before him. She has waist-length bright golden hair, the color of a sunflower, wrapped up in an intricate bun that has a few stray strands reaching to the bottom of her neck. She is tall and wrapped in an elegant, yet simple kimono. This does nothing to hide her fun bags. Her large fun bags. She rivals Bachan, he thinks before he stops himself. This is the first time in 2 years that he has seen Hiromi in her human form. Hiromi looks from Naruto to the woman beside him before she recognizes the woman. Ah, long time no see, Kyubi-sama. It's good to see you again, she grates. Hiromi steps up and hugs Kyubi. The two have known each other for quite a while, and the first time Hiromi was summoned by Naruto she was ecstatic. Kyubi is clothed this time wearing loose pants and several layers of clothing under her armor, not that she needs armor. What did you need to talk about? Naruto asks. Hiromi looks towards Naruto, suddenly nervously. She opens and closes her mouth several times, but nothing comes out. Naruto stands there patiently waiting. Seeing Hiromi so flustered, Kyubi walks over and the two whisper so low that Naruto's enhanced hearing can't listen in. Kyubi's eyes go wide for a second before a wicked grin appears on her face. Kyubi whispers something back before both women look at him. Naruto gets a sinking feeling in his stomach from the looks he is getting. It's like he is a piece of meat or a toy for them to play with. This will not end well, he thinks. It actually does. But he doesn't find that out, nor does he care at this point. Kyubi walks up and takes his arm before pulling him up to Hiromi. They now stand a foot apart with Hiromi gaining a huge blush. Hiromi-chan has something she wants to ask you. She goes even redder at the suffix. Naruto raises his eyebrow at the suffix, but has no other reaction. Hiromi, on the other hand, has a blush on her face as she turns to Naruto. He finds it is kinda funny seeing a 12-story dragon in human form flustered and nervous about asking him something. I would Muldio Bemet? She finishes very quickly and turns around right after and starts pushing her 2 fingers together. Naruto hears it, deciphers it, processes it, then his brain overloads. Why what? Comes his intelligent question. I have never had a mate, and the boss summons is supposed to bond with the head of the Uzumaki clan. Traditionally, when the boss summons and the head Uzumaki are different genders, they are mates. This ensures a tight relationship between us. She says all this without turning around, not trusting herself not to faint. For once, Naruto doesn't know what to think. On one hand, he barely knows her, and she is a completely different species than him. On the other, she is incredible, beautiful, smart, and strong. But the nagging thing that he doesn't know her makes him leery of outright accepting. Why don't we get to know each other a little better first before we make any hasty decisions? It is more of a statement than a question, but Hiromi looks more than happy to accept. Oh, okay. Where are you going? Maybe I can stay with you. Naruto points to the east. We are headed to Kiri no Kuni. There is the tomb of the protector where I will unlock my water abilities and be able to control gravity. Very handy abilities to say the least. But there is a civil war going on there, so we have to be careful. You can come if you want, but don't attack unless we are attacked first. Hiromi nods. Since I will be staying here for an extended amount of time, I need to make sure things will run smoothly at the den. I will rejoin you in a few hours. Her nervousness and shyness are gone, replaced with her professional game face. Getting a nod and a confirmation from Naruto and Kyubi, she disappears in a puff of smoke. Immediately Naruto turns to Kyubi. What do you have planned? Kyubi gets a curious expression. I don't know what you are talking about. I have nothing planned. She acts innocently, but Naruto isn't buying it. If you're not planning something, then I don't have the Rinnegan. Spill it. I don't want to be surprised in the middle of battle. Kyubi huffs and puffs out her chest indignantly. This also has the effect of pushing her already large pillows. Naruto's eyes shoot down for a second before finding her face again. Kyubi gins on the inside. You will find out when I deem you ready, not before. It isn't something that will harm you, so just drop it. Naruto sighs. Kyubi may want to sleep with him, but once she sets her mind on something, she is so stubborn that she will only diverge it if someone's life in danger. He knows that he isn't going to get it from her now, so there is no point. Come on. Let's get moving. We still have several days before we reach the eastern coast. Time skip 3 weeks. Naruto, Hiromi, and Kyubi step off the boat on Kiri no Kuni. They are in a small coastal town a few days of civilian travel speed from Kirigakure no Sato. As they leave the village, 12 mist ninja appear around them. Look what we have here. A little twig ninja. What would you be doing here in Kiri? The leader, a tall man with a mask and sunglasses with his hadiate around his bicep. We have business with your Mizukage on behalf of Lady Tsunade, the Godame Hokage. We would appreciate an escort as to avoid any mishaps, and so we don't get lost. The Kiri Jonin looks over Naruto, then Kyubi and Hiromi, assessing honest and threat level. Alright. We will take you to the Mizukage. He snaps his fingers. Instantly, 4 more Kiri nin appear. All 4 are wearing the same outfit, well mostly, and a blank umbu mask. Take these 3 to Lord Mizukage. They are not to be harmed. He stands to the side and allows Naruto and the 2 non-humans to pass. Right this way, the leader of the 4 says before jumping away, forcing the 3 to jump after them, revealing the 2 women of having ninja training. As they travel, Naruto gets a better look at the ninja. The leader is an older shinobi male with brown hair that has strips of gray and a goatee. The next ninja is a woman approximately 16. She has very short brown hair and semi-revealing attire, obviously trying to have an advantage to those who aren't used to dealing with women. But it is the 3rd member that really gets his attention. She is roughly 20 to 25, ankle-length auburn hair. She wears the standard umbu clothing with a slight adjustment. Her assets are very large, making the normal armor unwearable even with bindings, so she has on some kind of separate armor that is a few sizes too big for her. But her body isn't what got his attention. He feels that he doesn't know what he feels from her. But he can feel something coming from her that the others don't have. He doesn't know what it is or how he know it, but something about her is different. He makes a mental note to find out later. His musings about this new feeling completely distract him from the last ninja, but unfortunately for said ninja, he doesn't really matter, so he will remain nameless and be lost to history. Time skip 2 hours, Kirigakure no Sato. Naruto and company along with the escort walk towards the tower in the very middle of the city. Every direction they turn, they see poverty, filth, destroyed buildings, desperation, hunger. It looks like a horror film right in front of them. They all have to repress their gag reflexes since all of them have enhanced senses. The stench of death and human waste is almost overpowering. Luckily, they walk into the tower, and the smell is replaced by a perfume of some sort that counteracts the vile stench that coats the village. They are led up 5 flights of stairs to the Mizukage office where they are immediately ushered in. There they see Yugura juggling kunai behind his desk. He stops once the 3 are inside and the door closes. "Ah, you must be the 3 from Konoha. I am Yugura, Yandere Mizukage. How can I help you?" Naruto pulls out a scroll and hands it to him. This scroll is different than the one Tsunade handed him. After talking with Hiromi, Naruto sent a dragon messenger back asking for a new scroll. The new scroll arrived shortly before they got on the boat for Kiri no Kuni. "We are a delegation from Konohagakure sent to assess the potential of a Kiri-Konoha trade agreement and/or alliance. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, and they are Kyu and Hiromi. I am mainly a bodyguard and a leaf shinobi, but I will assess your shinobi, while Kyu and Hiromi are trained to defend themselves, but are civilians and will assess the physical and economic strengths and weaknesses of Kiri. We have been granted a month and a half to survey everything, then we will return home, hopefully with very good things to say, but it may not take that long. During our assessment, we will need access to the surrounding areas of Kirigakure to fully survey the potential of our trade. During all surveys, I will be present as bodyguard and will require a spar between your top 3 shinobi. I hope you will find this acceptable as we wish to make a complete picture of our potential ally." Naruto finishes his speech and waits for the Mizukage's decision. Meanwhile, in the Mizukage's head, he can't believe this chance. If he can get Konoha involved, the rebels will stand no chance. But even if they don't accept the alliance, the trade will be a much welcome source of income. "Alright, Uzumaki-san. I'll allow it, but you will have an escort at all times. I must also warn you that we are in the middle of a civil war, and your safety is not guaranteed, especially if the rebels learn of you." Naruto bows. "Thank you, Mizukage Dano. Your warning is welcome, but I think we will be alright. We won't go far from Kirigakure, just a few miles out to conduct our surveys. When can we expect the spars?" Yugura thinks for a second. There is no rush, but he wants to impress him quickly. It may have an effect on how they view the city. "In 2 days the spars will commence. If you have no other questions, let me get you a guide who will show you to your living arrangements. Jonin number 315, escort our guests to the VIP hotel." Instantly, the same woman that Naruto got the strange feeling from appears in front of them. "Please come this way," she says politely as she leads them away. Kirigakure no Sato. Naruto wakes with a start. Something or more someone is on top of him. He lifts his head and opens his eyes and sees flaming red hair lying on his chest, her bare back clearly in view for all to see. He shifts his view further down and sees her breast smashed against his bare chest. He blinks as he doesn't remember falling asleep like this. He creates a clone and kawarimis with it and instantly finds himself without boxers or pants. He sighs. She keeps trying. I bet she was hoping to wake up before me and rape me or smother me with those weapons of hers. He hops in the shower and makes it very quick as he doesn't want Kyubi to get any ideas about joining him. He dresses quickly and as he leaves he dispels the clone and wakes Kyubi as she falls onto the bed. Naruto knocks on the door to the other room where Hiromi sleeps and makes sure she is up as well. He goes and starts breakfast and after a few minutes, Kyubi comes out looking none too happy. She is in a skimpy bathrobe made out of yoki. "You know, there are better ways to wake a woman." Naruto deadpans. "Yeah, I bet." "Whatever. Why did you sleep in my bed last night instead of with Hiromi?" he asks. Kyubi pouts. "I already told you. I like your bed better. It doesn't matter where you sleep as it is automatically better than anywhere else." Naruto rolls his eyes and finishes making breakfast as Hiromi appears in the kitchen. "Good morning, Naruto-kun, Kyubi-chan," she yawns out. He looks at her before turning away like it nothing. It then registers what she is wearing and he snaps back to her. She is wearing a nightgown that wouldn't be out of place in a strip club. It has 2 pieces. The top has long sleeves and comes just over her breast and clasps once with a button just below her breasts, showing a lot of cleavage, then flares out again showing her very toned and flat stomach. Her bottom part is a skirt that stops right about mid to high thigh. Did I mention the fact that the material of both pieces is nearly see-through? Well, it is. Naruto can practically see all her body, which is on par with Kyubi's and he doesn't see any lines from underwear. So either she hides her underwear really well or she isn't wearing any at all. He has to hold his nose to prevent the blood from making him shoot back. Hiromi just moves on past him, but Kyubi notices the trickle of blood that gets past his fingers. Hiromi-chan, I think Naruto-kun is having dirty thoughts about you. Hiromi looks around to Naruto as he turns around to hide his nosebleed. What he misses is the smirk she has on her face. The two women dig into the breakfast at the counter with tall stools while Naruto waits for his nose to stop bleeding so he can let his nose go and release the pent-up blood, which he is eventually able to do without passing out. Naruto turns around having regained control over himself, and eats his breakfast as well, trying not to stare at Hiromi. Kyubi sees this and has a smirk on her face. Ha, no man can stand up to two women. I just hope that this works. Hiromi finishes first and places her breasts on the counter, making them seem even larger while feigning ignorance. So what are we going to do today? She asks, looking bored. Well, Naruto says with a mouthful. He swallows before continuing. I think that we should start with the city itself. We spend at the least a week looking around the city. From there we go to just outside the city for 2 weeks and then to the surrounding villages for 3 weeks. The final week we meet here and have one more survey through. What do you think? Well, to be honest, it may take more than a few weeks to get a complete picture of the surrounding towns. Plus, there are also the rebels to think about. They might attack us for even thinking about allying with Kiri, Hiromi adds. But we only have a total of 2 months to do a job that could take a half a year to do properly. So I think it is a good plan for now, and if we need to make adjustments, we can. Kyubi adds her 2 cents in. Plus, the final week we can move where we need to look at. They finish planning as a knock comes at the door. Naruto, being the most dressed out of the group, answers it after he puts on a Kakashi-like mask, a pair of Aburame-like sunglasses, and a hoodie that covers his hair. What he finds is the auburn-haired Jonin from yesterday at his door. The Jonin is slightly thrown off at the sight of Naruto. She was sure that he would take off the mask here. Now he is more of a mystery. She regains her wits about her. Hello, I have been ordered to escort you around town. When will you be ready? Naruto steps to the side and ushers her in. The Jonin raises an eyebrow at the current state of undress of the women, and just how obscenely hot the two women are. She feels threatened by these women. What woman wouldn't be? They represent everything a woman wants: gorgeous skin, silky soft hair, long legs, amazing bust line that doesn't sag without underwear. So what's your name? Naruto asks, breaking the tension in the room. My Jonin number is 315. You may address me as so, she replies. Naruto shakes his head. That's not what I asked. I asked for your name. What you are called when not on duty. The Kiri Jonin blanches. Nobody has showed enough interest in her to wonder about her past, her body, much less ask about her name. It's Terumi. Mei Terumi. Well, it's nice to meet you, Terumi-san. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. These two ladies are Hiromi and Q. They have no clan name. Hiromi is the shorter one with the golden hair. Mei bows slightly to the women. It's good to meet you too. Well, it's nice to know that not all Kiri shinobi are snobs and have sticks up their asses, Kyubi says. Her voice now lacks the usual power-filled bass, making her voice sound strangely high to Naruto. Mei, for her part, scratches her head bashfully. Well, we are in a civil war, so you can't be too careful. Yes, but that doesn't mean that they have to act how they look, Hiromi jabs. She too lacks her normal powerful voice to keep her cover as just a human. Mei is about to retort to the jab when Naruto steps in, trying to keep the peace. Ladies, calm down. We are their guests, and as such it would do well to remember your manners, he admonishes them. Kyubi childishly sticks her tongue out at him. Spoil sport. Naruto turns to Mei. Well, Terumi-san. We will walk around the village for a week or so and assess it. After that we will move on the areas just outside of the village, then to some closest towns. Does that work? Mei thinks for a second. Yes, that should be fine. Just know that once we leave the area around the city that we will be vulnerable to rebel attacks. I can't guarantee your safety. Naruto waves her off. Don't worry. We can all handle ourselves. So once we get dressed we can go. Time skip 2 days. Naruto stands quietly off to one side of the training grounds, not really thinking of anything, just waiting and observing, Q and Hiromi standing next to him. The last 2 days seem to go by in a blur. Mainly walking around and avoiding questions from their babysitter. At one point Mei asked Kyubi what was Naruto's problem, since he either asked nor answered any questions directed at him. Q, getting fed up with all the questions, just told her to ask him and not bother her or Hiromi. Speaking of Q and Hiromi, they had been taking a lot of notes. But instead of a deep analysis on the economic stability of the region, they have defense positions, approximate numbers of shinobi, possible entrances. Even if they aren't allowed to participate in the war, they can help out the people fighting to end the reign of the person who caused the deplorable conditions they walk through day in and day out. They don't know if the rebels would improve Kiri, but anything would be better than how it currently is. Naruto is awoken from his musings when 4 people walk into view. One is the Mizukage, one of their guide, and the other 2 he doesn't know. He is wearing his half mask and glasses to hide his features, making the Mizukage a little on edge since he can't read Naruto's face. Welcome, Naruto-san. We shall test my best Jonin against you. How shall the matches proceed? Naruto shrugs. Send 2 at first, and the next match will be against 1. The matches will be all out until one side is completely incapacitated or too injured to continue the fight. No killing strikes, and if you would Mizukage-sama be the referee. Yugura raises an eyebrow at the setup, but it is how he wants it. Jonin number 385 and number 215 will be the first match. Jonin number 315 will be the second. But Jonin number 18 will referee. Naruto nods his understanding. The training area the Mizukage chose was actually the stadium they use for the Chunin exams, but with the Civil War, the exams haven't been to Kiri in over 5 years and isn't likely to return for another few years. The stands are packed with shinobi and non-shinobi alike. Kyu and Hiromi find their way to the spectator box to watch. They talk with quiet excitement between them in anticipation of the match. Jonin #S385, Hanzo, and 215, Mycene, appear in the middle of the arena. Hanzo is shorter than Naruto, wearing no distinctive clothing and armor and a big sword on his back, think Cloud big. Mycene is the same height as Naruto. The only thing distinctive he is wearing is a purple hakama, something akin to a male skirt. He too has a sword, but it is a kodashi and strapped to his waist. Jonin number 18 hops into the arena and begins the match without asking if either party is ready. The 2 Jonin rush Naruto, who gracefully twirls out of the way of both swords. He pulls out a pair of kunai and begins deflecting sword strikes. This goes on for 5 minutes and Naruto isn't even breathing hard. Using a blast of wind, channeled through the kunai, he sends them back a few feet and draws his divine relic. This time Naruto attacks. He appears in front of Hanzo and tries to impale him. But Hanzo uses the flat edge of his sword to deflect and tries to stab Naruto himself. However, he wasn't planning on just how agile and strong Naruto is. Naruto stabs his sword deep into the ground, locking them together. He then uses the locked swords as leverage and lifts the rest of his body off the ground, having a dual purpose of going over the impaling sword and drawing the man off balance. Naruto's feet hits the ground and instantly his knee is in his opponent's face, sending him back several feet from the sheer force of the blow. Suddenly Naruto ducks and is saved from being decapitated. Naruto does a break dance-like move and sweeps the legs out of man. As the man hits the ground, he feels a strong wind near his neck and can barely make out the form of a sword made of wind inches from his windpipe. He looks over to his partner to see if he can help him and sees Naruto standing over him with his metal sword in the same position, just over the throat. Everyone in the crowd, minus Kyuubi, is stunned. To hear of a wind-natured chakra that can be controlled so far from the user through just manipulation is unheard of, and Naruto is a good 5 feet from the man. The match didn't even last 10 minutes. "Winner, Konoha!" shouts the referee. Naruto sheathes his sword and disperses the wind blade, not even sweating. Suddenly Mei isn't feeling so confident. If 2 couldn't take him, then how could she? Jonin number 315, get out there, Yugura orders. Having no choice, she can only hope that Naruto goes easy on her. As soon as the match starts, she forms hand seals. Yotan, Kazan ga no Dama. Lay release, lava balls, globs and cannon version. Naruto's eyes narrow as the molten pockets of lava race towards him. He sidesteps each one and rushes forward, intent on not allowing her to use that sub-element. That's it. That is what is different about her. Using a sub-element requires a bloodline. How she has managed to stay hidden for so long is beyond him. How he feels it he has no idea, but he will worry about that later. He reaches striking range, but finds Mei is very adept in taijutsu. They trade blows on even ground and Mei decides to up the tempo. She jumps back and forms more hand signs. Futon, Koma no Jutsu. Boil release, skilled mist technique. A thick mist rolls out of Mei's mouth and coats the ground. Naruto feels his cloth start to dissolve at a slow rate. His mind goes into overdrive and forms hand signs of his own. Futon Daitop. Naruto only gets a part of the way through the hand seals as Mei knocks the wind out of him with a powerful kick. But even still, the technique goes off and dilutes the mist to negligible levels. Mei eyes Naruto as she pushes forward with her assault, hoping that with him not being able to draw a breath that it will allow her to win. Unfortunately, that is not what Naruto has planned. He creates several clones, and they all engage Mei to get her off the original. While she is distracted, Naruto recovers and forms hand seals. Katon, Carrier Endin. Fire release, Fire Dragon Flame Bullet. A huge dragon bursts out of Naruto's mouth as Naruto holds the last symbol to make it appear that he is using chakra to control the dragon. He directs the dragon to the fighting Mei and his clones and makes the dragon kamikaze itself right on top of them. The temperature in the stadium rises dramatically, forcing many to shield themselves from the intense heat. Naruto looks on impassively as the fire burns the ground and liquefies the top layer of ground. Thanks for giving me the materials I need, he hears. Yotan, Kazangon no Kenketsusin. Lava release, Geyser of lava. The pool that had been created where the dragon had impacted suddenly shoots forward, straight for Naruto. Naruto then forms hand signs of his own. Anatsusiai, Sensui no Hosaki. Thermal release, Fountain of flames. A river of white fire blazes to life right in the path of the incoming lava. It is a battle of heat versus heat. Which sub-element is stronger? Up in the Kage booth, Yugura narrows his eyes. So he is a bloodline user. I guess that is expected of those bloodline-loving bastards in Konoha. Back in the fight, the two jutsu continue to battle. Mei had created a very deep pocket of lava and is just using chakra to direct the liquid substance while Naruto is constantly creating wind-enhanced fire. Eventually, though, the pocket of lava can't compete with near-infinite levels of half-chakra half-yoki-enhanced jutsu. The lava pocket runs out of lava and Mei drops the jutsu, and leans over panting but has to dodge quickly, lest she become less than ash. She appears on the far side of the arena, doubled over and breathing very